to another Night Thrice episode, a podcast where three friends are going to give you a top three countdown of their three most favorite, noteworthy, adventurous things of the month. Welcome back to the show, and hello, everyone. How are you doing?
Hello. What's up?
How's life back in Minnesota, Ken? It was great to have you here. I loved it.
Oh, we're going to talk about it. Don't worry. It was great to be there. I wish it was longer. I wish we had some canard time scheduled. That's what we failed to do.
That's true.
Canard time.
That's true. Emily was mad she didn't get to see anybody, except when she came to pick me up drunk on the floor. So
rescue you?
Don't worry.
Yeah,
rescue.
Now, when you guys keep saying we'll talk about it, are you implying that it is in the countdown and I should wait to talk about it until
That's
then?
a good question.
I guess mine isn't, so it's up to Ken.
Well, I can keep my little
Snippet.
spiel to the countdown.
A little slice.
We can
Well,
talk about it in the larger context during
I love how we're
right
acting
now.
like this is a secret. Like it's
Yeah,
not a...
guys.
Secrets out.
Should we talk about it?
So wait, hold on. For people who haven't been to the show before, what are we going to do? We are going to do a top three countdown, the three of us, in three topics that we had to pick things from. What are our three topics this month, Emily?
I went back and forth, but we have TV and movies. That's like one. We have tabletop games. And then originally I said video games. And then this afternoon I said, how about whatever the F makes you happy? And then I kind of went back to video games. Whatever. It's whatever.
Sometimes it's
out of
video
control.
games. Yeah.
It's number 3 is seasonal depression, aka
Yeah.
whatever gets you through is what we're
It's
at.
funny you mentioned that. We are went toe to toe with sad, and it's got hands. I got knocked out.
Oh man, tell me about it.
Fine enough, sad.
Every day it's like, oh, is the sun out? And it's
Right.
just like the world's sad.
Honestly, I think Emily, you're sort of the same way. If the sun is out, I'm fine.
Yeah.
It is and there's only so much vitamin D you can take before like your starts to hurt, just wherever. But I need that sun. I just need it to be out.
Yeah. And the other day it was like, it's getting gray where it's 10 a.m. and it feels like it's about 6 p.m. And that is when I just hate life. So
Didn't cure it for you?
I don't know.
It's been kind of sunny this week, though. It was sunny today.
It was kind of sunny today.
But I work from home most of the time, and my office is downstairs. And though it is by a window, it is not on the south-facing side of the house. Mm-hmm. And so sometimes I just go upstairs because we got that great big sliding glass door right in the back, and I just stand there because I need some of that sun.
Take a little cat nap next to the cats on the...
That's what I should
It's
do.
literally what
the
my
rug.
wife did today. She laid in the sun. Where was that yesterday? I was like, I think I disturbed her multiple times to say, you're going to wake up mad and hot and sweaty. Are you sure you want to do
Your
this?
neck will be out of place and your...
And that's not specific to her. That's universal, right? You wake up and like,
I'll take that right now, though.
I feel like I have come out of a winter slumber and I have started working out again.
He's alive.
We didn't do the powerlifting thing this year, and it wouldn't have worked anyway because of the series of sicknesses that I got between Thanksgiving and the end of January.
Sure.
That's true.
I'm looking at excuses.
You're right. They are excuses. But I got less fit. I got out of shape, and it's time to reverse that.
Welcome
coin.
to the club.
Calling it less fit.
Less fit.
That is such a good way. Rather than being like, I gained a little weight, I'm less fit than I was before.
Well, because of the way it shows up. I say less fit.
Well, for you, it works. You are just less fit. For everyone else, like all of us, we're like, I hate this. I don't fit in anything, and I'm uncomfortable.
I'm glad you said that, because for a while now I felt like there's a rift here in our understanding, Ben, where like I've been at 60% power for what feels like 3 or 4 years now. And you just say, well, I'm less fit. And it's like, okay, but like, where's the fat going? Because I'm persistently less fit.
I keep getting less fit.
Yeah.
Well, and what it is for me is when I get in a lazy workout mode, I don't stop working out. I just stop doing stuff where the heart rate gets really high.
Yeah,
Where you're
yeah.
really uncomfortable.
Ugh.
And never doing high intensity stuff. You lose that sort of like,
Well, you lose that extra 10%.
yeah, that
right,
top
coach?
end.
Yeah.
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 You lose,
Yeah.
and it's just like, no, because you can do zone 2 stuff in strength training and be totally fine, be
Forever.
totally in shape
Yeah.
forever. That stuff's real healthy.
Yeah.
But there's like one leg of the stool then that's missing. I feel like, and I would never know it had I never done that stuff.
Yeah.
That it's not there,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
And you can fill it a lot of different ways. I used to fill it with biking because biking you can really hammer on energy systems like crazy. I don't like to bike that much anymore because I can't quite get my seat position right. It really bothers my knee. And I think that's
that is
fixable. I just don't know how.
I feel like
You're
most
old.
people would choose bike to take pressure off their knees. That's fine.
Yeah, that's
Well,
true compared to running.
If you are in a bad position, though, you cycle so many reps
That
of
is
that
true.
bad position. I find
Sure.
biking to be the thing that can compound
Yeah.
like
that makes
an
sense.
injury the fastest.
Yep.
If I can get my seat position right, then yeah, it's low impact. It's like the best of all worlds. It's like low impact but high muscle demand,
Yeah,
unlike
I'd say
running.
so. It's harder than running, in a
Definitely
way.
harder.
Well,
I find.
it pulls at the muscles. Running is like hard on the lungs.
Yeah, it's cardiovascular, right? Heart and lungs.
Yeah, biking is like you get to pump the biggest muscles in your
Move
body.
the muscles. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, which my
Good
muscles
running is all
instantly
about
are.
like minimizing muscle use almost in a marathon setting.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. I don't want this to be the fitness podcast, but now you got me talking about it.
But here we go.
It's funny
Welcome to the
because
fitness podcast.
Whatever makes you happy. That's number 3.
I for a long time, forever, for the last decade, I worked on shortening my running stride faster, whatever, to pull the load off of like a big stride is like hard on the muscles. You're like jumping essentially,
Yeah,
mini jumps. Short stride is like less intense, but then because of the quick turnover, it's a higher like load on the heart, higher heart rate, like cardio load. And I have found that is actually my weakness because of all the strength training that we've done over the years.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I have gradually been lengthening my stride again to be like, why don't I just lean into the thing I'm good at
Yeah.
and
Crazy.
stop trying to like get my heart
Fight
rate
it.
up because it doesn't get up anymore. I can't get
Well, that's
a high
the other
heart
thing.
rate
I mean,
anymore.
We're old.
we've been doing this for at least 10 years, probably 15 years, exercising pretty consistently. Our max heart rate is coming down, right?
Absolutely. 150%.
Like scientifically, but then also I can feel that my max heart rate is not what it used to be.
Right.
It
No.
doesn't go that high anymore.
Yeah. There's another guy I work with who runs, and I was talking to him about what his heart rate is when he's running, and it's his like low intensity heart rate is a heart rate I can't even reach at all.
What?
He's like running. He'll go for like a run, let's say,
Yeah.
like a pace, and his heart rate's like 170 ish,
Oh my God.
and 170 like makes me want to throw
Yeah,
up.
that's like
Yeah.
I need to be in a bathroom
die.
or a
Like-
pool of water or something. Yeah. Holy cow.
right. When I ran that half marathon last year, I think my average heart rate was 155.
Gosh.
Wait, didn't you sign up for another half marathon?
I know. I better start getting in shape.
I need to sign up.
You're
for
less
something.
fit. You gotta be careful, man.
I'm 20 pounds heavy. That's the problem right now.
Less
I'm
fit.
20 pounds too heavy to run.
20 pounds less fit.
Keep her work on that then.
Heck yeah.
Shit. So, really quick, Ben, do you want to talk about the land just a little bit without going into 1, 2, or 3? And, just like an overall, what happened?
Absolutely. Over the years, we have congregated at our friend Ryan Quinn's house for land parties. And it had been a long time since we've done one, and people have moved away. And I don't know how the conversation even started. I think
I
it
don't
was
know.
It was a conversation more with the guys, with the expats, the
Yes.
non-locals.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
You guys
Probably.
all managed to somehow arrange travel to kind of together. You all went to Detroit and then drove up, and we did 2 days of six. There was 16 computers at one point in a
Lot of
basement,
people.
That's crazy.
all plugged into different. We finally figured out how to plug it into different circuits. Luckily, Quinn has gigabit Ethernet, so
Yes.
somebody had a giant switch, and then we all
maxed
plugged
it
into
out.
that.
We used a 16-port
Damn.
switch. That was
That's
kind of cool.
insane.
That's wild.
On a weird.
I never even
level.
thought about that, like plugs and just like all
Well,
that.
that's the
just in
hardest part.
general.
Tables,
Yeah.
chairs,
Yeah.
plugs,
Cords. It's
space.
infrastructure, right?
Right.
Everybody wants
Yeah.
to play, but
In our basement,
Yeah.
I'd be like, we can fit 4, maybe. Like
Right.
I wouldn't even
now
know what
I'm-
to do.
I'm thinking about your basement and I'm thinking about my basement. Yours could work, but we'd have to like
Maybe.
clear it out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you'd really have to pick it up.
It would be.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Mine would never stand a chance. But I think, 16 people's more than we ever did, or I ever did when I was a local, I want
Oh.
to say.
Oh, for sure. This was the biggest one ever. Absolutely.
Oh, that's so cool. Awesome.
Yeah. And I thought it was great. Drinks, food, hanging
Yeah.
out. Had a
Yeah.
wonderful time. We played some really bad games.
Yes.
We played some okay games.
Yes.
We played some fun games.
Yeah.
Who cares what games we played? I was just so happy to be hanging out with everybody, and especially
agree.
the guys who have moved away, like
Yeah.
you, Evan, Gage, Cody.
Yeah.
We met Nick. I mean, it was crazy to have everybody there. It was awesome.
Super fun. Loved it. I want to go again.
Yeah,
I
right.
couldn't even believe I'm a bad traveler, but 4 of us flew into Detroit and then it's a 2-hour drive.
yeah, that's a long drive.
And we got in at like 10:30 or 11 at night, drove for 2 hours, and it was great though. All of those
That's
guys
good.
were wonderful.
Yeah,
Couldn't
you
believe
guys
it.
were saying you weren't complaining about the drive when I talked to you, and I hate that drive. I have flown into
Hate it.
Detroit to drive up here, and I'm like, when is this going to end? This is like never end. What is wrong with
hate
this
it
drive?
so much.
Well, it was. We drove from 11, probably 11:15 or 11:30 to like almost 2 when I got to your house. Nobody on the road, just goofing
That's
around
true.
with 4 of your friends. Flies by.
Right.
It was awesome.
That's good.
Did you introduce yourself as Nick to Nick?
Yes. So, little backstory here. There was
Yeah.
some discussion. Nick is I think the only person who only knew one of the 16. He knew Evan,
Yeah.
who was landing with us in Detroit. Myself and another gentleman, Gage, were landing there. So Nick didn't know who was who. So there was an opportunity to have some fun and play around. So in my head, I went through all the options, right? Gage and I can switch. I can pretend to be Evan. That could be a weird, like, whoa, what happened to Evan type thing. We could
You guys,
guys-
you
you guys
do
could
look
do that,
similar
yeah.
enough that you could like
close
almost
enough
pull
to
it off.
where, yeah. I got to work on my hair and weight and age and lifestyle.
Yeah, he's like 10 years younger than us. So.
but ultimately in this, like, how can we have some-
Lifestyle. Like that somehow is apparent in your looks.
It is. It's called city miles. Yeah. I ultimately landed on, all right, I'm going to introduce myself to Nick as Nick. And they're just going to go with it behind me here. Well, we met him in an Avis rental car parking lot with, I don't know how many buses and cars going by. And we were already in the car when he showed up. So I just rolled down the window, reached out and yelled, "Hey, I'm Nick." And he goes, "Nick?" And he shook my hand and then he got in the car. And we figured out later, I was like, "Oh yeah, I introduced myself as Nick." And he's like, "Oh no, I heard you say Nick." And he
Oh.
said Nick. And so it didn't work at all. But
No.
Darn.
I love that interaction. I don't know how long we drove before he figured out I was Ken, but I guess he must have.
He's
Put
just
two
in a
and
car
two
of
together.
strangers
Yeah.
at that point.
The only thing that I regret. Well, there are two things I regret, but the main thing that I regret about the weekend
I was gonna say
is that I didn't make enough time to just hang out with everybody. And like you said, there wasn't necessarily room for it. We were doing fun stuff. We were playing games and doing things. But as soon as everybody left, I missed them. And I was like, I wish I would have taken some time to just like take advantage of the fact that everybody's
like an actual lunch break.
We needed to sit down on lunch. Yeah.
Well, I got the advantage of like when I landed, I sat by Evan and talked with Evan for an hour. And then I got in a car with these guys for another 2 hours.
Yeah.
And then I got to see you guys in the morning and at night and stuff. I felt that I got to talk to real people instead of just in the basement gaming, which I love, but let's have a conversation.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you came all this way, right?
Speaking of which, are we going to talk about the board game that we played at LAN?
I think Ben.
That is going to be in the countdown.
Okay, good. So I won't talk about it now.
Okay.
Okay.
Otherwise, great experience though. I mean, you guys know how to do food. You know how to do drink. It's a good time. I honestly would go again in a month if we scheduled it.
If it was scheduled,
once a month,
you would be
Ken
here.
does.
Yeah, it was a $93 flight.
That is insane.
Yeah,
It has
That's
been
crazy.
like $600 for years. I feel like every time we're like, we should go to Minnesota. I'm like, not possible.
Yeah,
We have to take
yeah.
out a loan. So that's
Yeah.
crazy that you found it so cheap.
yeah.
Ben, did you have any issues with the LAN that you want to talk about?
I got a little carried away on Saturday.
A little carried away with
I'm
We
glad
finally
somebody
played-
did, and I'm glad it was you.
I do so very rarely. It's been a long time since something like that's happened to me. We finally played Overwatch. We finally played a good game, and I got very excited.
You were
And
talking
somebody-
some smack.
Somebody
to a
pulled.
room of people.
Yeah, I was having fun. Somebody pulled up. What is it? Smirnoff tamarind something vodka.
Smirnoff spicy tamarind with lime in it. I'm told, shaken over ice.
just
out of
straight
sight.
vodka, though.
Well, it's 70
But I mean,
proof,
for the most.
But
okay.
it's vodka. Yeah.
That is so delicious.
Yeah.
Apparently.
One
The
of
only
my
reason I
favorites.
stopped is because somebody else in a drag car of spicy tamarind went so fast past me. I had to put my drink down.
I felt like, because I knew it was going to be a struggle to get through the weekend without doing something like I did, and I had paced myself well, but then
Paced.
somebody made a spicy tamarind, and I said, I would like one
Yeah.
of those.
Oh, I'll have one of those.
2, 3.
And that was the exact same moment we started playing Overwatch, and
Yeah.
we turned the tunes on.
That's
We had
true. That's
tunes
probably-
rocking.
That might have been it. Actually, was the tunes.
We were rolling a private match of Overwatch after a whole weekend of gaming, and the fires were lit, and I just kept doing this. Give me another one.
Yeah.
And I was sucking them down.
You were being fed rapidly. In your defense, at some point, and I'm not going to name names, I think somebody handed you a 16-ounce spicy
Oh my
tamarind
gosh.
vodka.
Oh, yeah.
I don't
minus
know,
spice.
honestly.
Yeah.
All I know is that when we went upstairs
Right.
to play the game we will talk about later, and we had to close our eyes, I realized
Oh,
I
God.
cannot play this game.
Yeah. I hate
And-
that.
the room spinning.
Oh. Like,
Ugh.
somebody steady these slippers because I can't.
I stood up and I walked over to Quinn and I said, I'm sorry, I can't play. And I walked outside
That's
for a
right.
moment to get some fresh air, and then I went downstairs and laid down in his theater and went to sleep.
Yep.
That's true. So then I received a text that first of all said, "Oh no, I took it too far," or something like that. and then your last text to me after I was like, "Do you need me to come get you?" You said, "Come inside and tell then you get my." And I said,
get it.
"Okay."
Yeah,
It sounds
I get
like
it.
he needs to be picked up immediately.
Yeah, you got the.
So when
the
I showed up,
important bit.
everyone said, "Did Ben call you?" And they were like, "He's pretty rough." As soon as I entered,
See, because when you showed up, it genuinely happened in the scope of about 90 minutes, I would say.
From first tamarind to
Yes.
passed out.
You just rocket ship, right? And then entered Earth's atmosphere just as fast to where I didn't even notice you leave the game. I think we finished it, and I think Ryan said, "Oh, Ben's out." I was like, "Okay, well, he doesn't want to play or something," but
yeah.
did not realize we were in such dire circumstances.
I feel like I didn't even ever get to be drunk. I was sober.
Yeah.
And then I was
you were like sick.
passed out.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was thinking. I can't handle this.
You touched, you made communication when I think we won a game, and you were like, you were slamming the table, you were excited, and then
flipped a couple tables.
20 minutes later, it was over.
That's it.
Done.
You know, the candle that burns twice as bright burns half as long, right?
Emily came and got me, brought me home, and I went and laid in bed in my clothes, fully dressed, and
I didn't. Yeah. Sorry, keep going.
Yeah.
well, and then I woke up in the next morning and had to say goodbye to you.
We had to leave at like 8:30, I think,
Right.
at the latest, which that was a lot. I was surprised to see you, to be honest. Appreciated it.
I was
though.
hungover for like 4 days.
You were like, it was like that. It was even like a week later, and you're like, you
believe it.
still feel sick. Like,
I believe it. Yeah.
It hit you hard.
I did not. It did. Like, I had the normal hangover, like groggy, headache, tired, that kind of stuff. Spicy tamarind, man, it did a number on my spicy insides, and that took a whole week to recover. So
I
I
believe
don't
it.
think you're fully recovered, though. I think it did like at your
Lasting
age, it's like permanent
damage?
I think so. Yeah, it
Very
feels
well
that way.
might have. Yeah.
I was a little bit embarrassed. I think I'm a little too old to be too embarrassed, though.
Well,
but
you didn't
whatever.
stumble through a table through
right.
a table full of computers, right? You didn't.
Can you imagine if you like passed
you're the kitchen countertop or
throw up on like somebody's computer.
I think. Well, I think it's funny because as you get older, definitely, and we're well past it now. But like, there was a period, maybe late 20 or 25 to 30, even, where it's like, well, listen, you're still allowed to get drunk, but you got to throw up in the toilet. You can't just like, you hold it in. I don't care how you do it, but like
you don't make a scene anymore.
Well, don't make a mess.
Yeah,
and
don't
don't
make a
expect
mess.
me to clean it up either, right? But
gross.
you politely stood, went outside, got air,
That is true.
and then went and laid down, like completely harmless.
Yeah, if you like threw up when your eyes were closed in the middle of the living room or something, like just so in college, sophomore year, we lived in a it wasn't just like a dorm, it was like you had a couple of little dorms and like a bathroom that the four of you shared.
Sure, what's that called?
Suite. It was a suite.
A Johnny suite?
We had it called.
It's got like a Bethany's bathroom type name or something. There's some weird old phrase for it. Sorry.
Jack and Jill.
Right. Yes, that might be what it is. Yeah. Yeah.
But so we all, the usual like Thursday night went out, everybody got wasted. We all go back.
Sure.
One of our friends woke up, went to the sink, threw up in the sink, which first of all was like, that's the worst.
Who throws
place.
up in the sink?
So she immediately goes back to bed. Another friend who was passed out woke up and she thought she had done that, and she was so embarrassed that she cleaned it up.
Oh my gosh.
Because she was like, I can't believe I threw up in the sink.
Yeah.
So she cleaned it up. So by the next morning, when we all woke up, our one friend was like, I thought that I threw up in the sink. And then the other one's like, wait a minute, that was you? And so she had free cleanup the next morning.
Did we both throw up in the sink, but it's not here?
It was not. It was, and she also did the out of her loft bed, threw up out of the loft bed. So that was, I think that was the same
splash.
night. So
my God.
Sick.
So you didn't do that, Ben. So you're good to go.
No, I just slept in my clothes. That was my worst
the worst
sin.
of the worst.
Yeah.
But oh man, well, good
Can
stuff.
we move on? This is making me nauseous
Okay,
just
I'm
thinking
sorry
about how
about
nauseous I was.
That was a little too much.
I know. I had to. Sorry.
Too many details.
Okay, should we do the question?
Ooh, all
I need
right.
to find the question.
Yeah,
Sorry.
questions. Ooh.
Question. I actually have two questions
It's
because
that
one
time
is
of the
kind of
podcast.
short.
So, fidget spinner.
Our
Hold on.
first.
Let me get in the mindset.
You gonna throw
Just
up?
a second.
Don't close your eyes.
The room is spinning.
The room is spinning already.
Oh, no.
The first question is from JB63, and he says, "How do we?" It's not 69; it's 63.
Thanks for calling, JB69.
Nice.
How do we pick our D-list movies? Ben,
That's a good
you
question.
wanna?
Emily's in charge of that.
That's not true.
As I'm drinking them.
She ultimately sends out the
Kinda-
roster,
That's
Yeah.
true.
but it's always open for discussion.
Always.
Yes.
There is a Google Doc that has a number of options available, and we rarely make any progress in the Google Doc because somebody comes up with an idea between each
Between it.
D-list.
But the movies have to be like box office bombs. So it has to be a movie that they expected to earn a shit ton of money,
Yeah.
and it just flopped. So it can't just be a bad movie.
Right. That's the difference between the C-list, which you know is going to be bad,
Right.
or the campy cult classic.
D-list, which is
this-
the actual D-list. I believe
the
it's
actual
called.
D-list.
Yeah.
This is this is nothing but disappointments. D
Yeah.
stands for disappointment.
There you go.
Yeah.
You were excited and you were let down by every single one of these movies, and without question, every single one of them has let me down in some way or another.
Yeah.
Though I think one of my favorites was Sahara. That one was actually
I
quite
did
good.
enjoy that one. I also, though it was horribly bad, Great Wall was so
That was
funny
fun.
at the same. That was so fun.
That's the saving grace of these movies. That occasionally you get one that's just like, whatever. Let's just go with it. And,
I could use the rest.
right.
The
right.
worst
I
is when
didn't
they're
give
just
that to you.
bad.
I put it in my bag.
Oh
And I
man,
did
we
not
thought about that
give it
too.
to you.
Where's
Well,
next
you're
time?
gonna have to visit again.
You said you're coming back for another one, so
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Uh,
How
that's so
stupid.
funny because we thought of that too beforehand, and then
I texted you a picture of it like 2
Yeah.
days in advance, and then I put it in the bag to make sure I wouldn't forget it. And sure enough,
you're as forgetful as I am, Ken.
oh, I'm so forgetful. If it's not work related, just
it's
out the
gone.
window. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I kind of make a rough list of D-list movies. So you guys say yes or no, because sometimes they're so
Sometimes
bad
it's too far.
that it's like
Yeah.
no, we can't do it.
Or
So-
two,
bridge
or
too
two. We've had a couple that were like, yeah, but I kind of want to actually see that. Or
yeah,
I'm trying to think of, I don't know what it would be. Something like a Morbius, where Sony thought they had like the absolute, bee's
Yeah.
knees of a movie, and the internet unanimously agreed, we're not seeing this, right? But I don't know. I'm trying to think. Those are rare that we get one that's like, no, probably too good.
yeah.
Maybe we should do Morbius.
I don't.
I haven't seen it. Did you
yeah,
see it?
did you see it?
No, I tried it, but then, well,
Tried it?
I watched 5 minutes and I turned it off because I don't like Leto. It had nothing to do with the movie.
okay.
I just don't want to
Well,
watch that guy.
maybe.
So
Mhm.
There are times I will admit. So a lot of times we don't have time for the movie until like the day before or 2 days
That's
before.
true.
And,
That's
and
true.
we'll be watching and we're halfway through and I go, oh no, is this not a D-list? And I'll be like
Right.
so nervous.
Yeah.
And then something will happen. You're like, we're good. Don't worry.
Yeah,
we got it.
like Jack Frost, right? Mostly a pretty harmless movie,
Yeah.
and then there's weird, I don't know, some
There's
off-color comment.
He's
or
not a
something,
bad
you know.
dad. He's
Jack
Yeah, right.
Frost. That's the one that's the dealist that never saw the light of day.
is
That was
true.
the beer
Oh,
spill.
that's right.
Yeah.
We live
People don't
streamed and
know.
recorded that, and the
I
stream
can't
Emily
believe that.
deleted
It was
from
so-
YouTube.
because it was insane. He's not a bad dad though, but the movie does suck. But well,
That movie. Remember his dumb hat?
That's how you knew it was him
Tips.
amongst all the other snowmen.
So our other question is from Board to Play, and he says ways out of getting video game and board game burnout, which I am at my peak
Ways
right
to get
now.
out of burnout.
Yeah, how to get out of burnout.
Ooh, okay.
And right now I am like every
Number
time I'm like,
one?
should we play a game? I'm like, no.
Number one, take a break. Right?
Yeah,
I don't know if that's
definitely.
a way out, but
Absence makes the heart grow fonder. That sort of thing.
I mean, if
That's true.
if you're burned out, take a break, and then yes, you know, a little time away doesn't hurt.
I find, a break is probably nice. I have I'm like the Eye of Sauron, right? I'm only looking at one thing at a time, ever.
Yes,
And,
that's true.
and I
Okay.
fully am looking at that thing when I'm
Right.
doing it.
That's true.
It's
Have you
the
thought
YouTube.
about this metaphor before? Have you been holding this in for?
No, I just thought
Okay.
it's not.
Waiting for this moment.
I watch all the YouTube videos I watch, all the podcasts I listen to, all the
Right.
things I read, and all the
That's
thinking
true.
I do, all surround whatever is the thing I am currently obsessed with. But
Which is D&D.
because it's so easy for that to fall apart, or for the eye to turn to something else,
The
it often can feel like I'm burnt. Like right now, it feels like, am I burnt out on board games? I don't know if I got burnt out, but I am just looking somewhere else, and like I only ever seem to do one thing at a time.
Yeah. But I don't know. I think the other thing is, I don't know, just don't push it, because it's fine if you take a break.
Yeah, I
the board
wouldn't
game's not
force
going
it.
anywhere.
I wouldn't force it. The other thing I was going to say was, excuse me, oh my God, I just got
Just snorted
congested,
cocaine.
like out of
Real
control,
quick.
congested. If you can't take a break for whatever reason, totally change the type of game you're playing. If you're
Yeah.
if you're playing long stuff, play monikers for 20 minutes and go to bed.
Right.
Or
Yeah.
vice versa. Take a risk on a really long game, and then suddenly you'll be clawing back to whatever you were playing before.
That's true.
Or
Switch it
enjoying
up.
something new. So that's what I would
If-
do.
Tired of playing Hogwarts Legacy because you just spent the last 5 years playing third-person action
Yeah,
adventure
right.
games.
Yeah, I think I have that. Yeah.
Go play
Yeah.
Rogue Legacy or go play Stardew Valley.
Yeah.
Right? Go play
Yeah,
City Skylines. I don't know. You're right. Like
Man,
switch
City
it up.
Skylines, yeah. Ooh.
I think
a good
those are your
vacation.
those are your only two options. Take a break and
Or
get obsessed about
drastically
something
change
else.
it. Yeah, I mean, what's the point in continuing on if you're tired of it and you're not enjoying it? It's
I
not
don't think
work.
you have. Yeah,
because then you're going to
You don't
associate
have
it
to
with
like it.
negative.
Well, yeah, and why
I don't want to
build
associate like playing a game
Right.
with being like I'm grumpy about it.
right?
So-
Don't build that. Don't fill that meter of like, I don't like this. I don't like this. I still don't like this.
Yeah.
Like, what's the? I don't know.
And the thing is like both of these things are they sort of create monuments to themselves in your home. Like we have a ton of board games.
Yes.
And if
Yeah.
we're not playing them, there's like a tribute to them. And your computer, if you are a computer gamer, it's the same way. Especially
Sure.
if you build your computer.
Or
like
PlayStation or whatever. Yeah.
PlayStation,
Yeah.
whatever. Like
Xbox,
maybe it is
yeah.
PlayStation. You picked out the TV. You got the PlayStation,
Right.
the controllers,
You
the
have to set
library
all
of
that up.
games.
Yeah.
Like you have this sort of like shrine to your hobby, and so then you can feel guilty if it's just sitting there. And I think
Yeah.
the first thing to do is be okay with it just
Yep.
sitting there. That's
Just
fine.
stuff.
Yeah.
It can just be turned off for a while, and that's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah. I like that. That's good.
Yeah.
Because I agree. I'm right now totally burnt out on life. So
And every time that You have put some good wisdom out there, Em, in our own conversations. I have been worried that you're like, I don't feel like playing board games anymore. But you don't follow that up with, so let's get rid of our board games. You
Right.
always follow that up with,
Right.
and they're going to be there when I want to come back. And that is the kind of thing that really puts me at ease to be like, oh, no, you don't like this anymore. We need to get rid of all this stuff. You're like, no, they're not hurting anything.
Just not in the mood to.
We'll come back and we'll
Well,
play
I
them later.
think-
We don't have to dispose of them.
And that's a universal truth for most things, especially as you get older. It's sort of like, well,
Yeah.
this doesn't have to go away because I'm not interested right now or something like that, right? Or, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that was a good point, Ben. I like that.
I agree. Nice job. Well, we solved 2 world crisis moments there.
Yeah.
Made the world a
we're
better
good.
place.
Welcome.
We're good to go. Yeah.
Plug the Patreon or whatever right now for that free
Do you want to
advice.
give money
We
for
should.
that
Right.
that information?
Right. Anyway, that
After-
information is for sale on my Etsy shop.
Life advice, $5.
Pre-recorded random life advice.
It's just it just hooks up to this YouTube video.
Pre-recorded unsolicited life advice.
And they're like 50 cents a piece, and it's like
Right.
a 2-minute audio
Yeah.
clip that you get to download if you pay the 50 cents.
Have you ever heard, I don't know what it is, but there's like a hotline you can call if you're having a bad day, and it's pre-recorded like kindergarten students that
Aw,
are
that's
saying
cool.
nice things. I don't remember what it is.
We
But
should
there's a
find
number,
that.
and they'll just be like, you know what? You're doing a great job. And there's videos of people
super
calling it, and they're
simple
just
stuff, right?
crying because it's a 5-year-old being like, you're going to do it. And they're like, because they're having such a rough day. I don't know what the number is, but I'm sure it would help you if you're having a rough day.
We
So
need to find that.
Google that. Yeah.
You do bring up a good point, Ken. If you do want to support Date Night Thrice or any of our other podcasters' shows, including the D-List or Session Zero, you can always go to our Patreon. Just look for Date Night Dice on Patreon. We do have a few patrons over there, and they help us keep the lights on. That's about all we're asking for, and they do a great job. Why don't we do some Patreon shout-outs? Emily has provided me a list here. We're going to shout out to...
Our top faves.
Oh, here we go. We got Ryan James, EC Beauregard, Ryan Quinn, Phil Brenz, and Joe Madigan. Thank you very much,
Wow.
guys, for keeping the show running. We appreciate you
those
Nice.
D-lists
so
coming.
much. It's
Do it.
that time of the night. Time for our top 3 countdown. We are going to go counterclockwise, starting with Emily. I'm going to go 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
Oh,
Everybody got it?
Okay.
sure.
So, starting with you, Em, what is your number 3?
Okay. My number 3 is I started watching The Mandalorian.
Ooh.
Season 3?
Every time. Yeah, so first I caught back up because I had seen some of season 1 and 2, but not completely.
So you watched all of it.
So I watched the whole works.
Wow.
I went
Okay.
wild.
How was that? How was seasons 1 and 2
How
all
was that?
in one
I'm
long
very
run?
curious. Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Okay.
I like that, there's the overall story, but I like that each episode is the like, who's the big bad boss in this one? You kind of
Yeah,
defeat
yeah.
it thing.
Yep. Monster of the week.
I
So
love that
season,
style.
Season 3 just has 3 episodes.
Well, we're gonna get to that. I'm about to.
I don't know what to think so far for season 3. I hope that they don't go, oh, it's so popular, so we all of a sudden try to switch it up, and you're like, yeah,
Yep.
you know why I liked
Yep.
it?
Yep.
Because I like how you liked it
Yep.
before.
Yep.
So yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm not alone.
Well, because it's moving at least so far. I want to give
Yeah,
season
which maybe
3.
maybe this is just the setup.
I want to give it room to breathe. Right. I'm being very
Yeah.
generous, to be honest.
But
after 3 hours, but like first season is Monster of the Week.
Yeah.
It's very Witcher on Netflix. It's very, there's this bad guy. Here's the problem. Me and my little alien son are literally just walking around, encountering things.
and he's gonna solve it in like probably a goofy fucking way, but in a cool way, right? Where you're like,
Yeah.
okay,
well, I think
I didn't expect that.
It was
but
very
cool.
like seat of the pants, like it almost.
But he can always
He's
pull it off
very
with
lucky.
ease.
He's
but he's
very
lucky.
lucky, I'll say.
But I feel like now
he's kind
I
of
don't.
dumb.
You keep going.
Well,
Yes!
it's getting to where I've read a lot of stuff, so I'll try not to like bury you. It's moving away from Monster of the Week. Season 2 introduced a lot of these weird, like encapsulated episodes that don't really have a lot to do with Mando and Grogu, right? You've got like
there was a little,
spoilers, I guess, light spoilers. Season 2, he runs into Ahsoka Tano, who is a massively popular character, not in the main storyline. It's a cool episode, but it makes sense because he needs her help to find more Jedi. As you move through season 2, he runs into Boba Fett, I think.
Yeah. Yep.
In some way,
which is essentially so they could have that show.
Sense. Right. Yeah. But the farther this show goes on, it feels like it's they don't care about the Mando Grogu story.
And I'm like, the whole point is Mando. I don't care as much about everyone else.
It's also increasingly becoming like really exposition heavy in terms of dialogue, where people are like, yes, I'm the princess of this town and I want revenge and you have to help me get it. Like people don't talk like that, right?
And especially like so it's Wednesday today when we're recording.
Yes.
I watched the one
episode.
For today.
Yes, I did.
And that
as well.
one was like, I'm hoping we're setting us up for something, because it was about as long as a movie. I think it was an hour.
It was an hour. It was the longest episode so far.
And
it had
45 minutes of no Mando.
Nothing to do with the primary plot line. And I was texting a buddy today. I'm sorry. I don't want to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, you go for it.
Please, we need to know.
I don't have a problem with subplots.
Yeah.
But you don't take an hour long right turn into a subplot that is so far irrelevant.
It is like,
it was interesting to see, but like call that.
That's a different show.
It's the Star Wars Dr. Pershing special.
Yeah.
Light spoilers.
It was like a whole different show.
Yeah.
And then, which I'm assuming it all makes sense at some point, but I still don't think we needed like an hour with that. I think that could have been probably summed up in
if you want to do an
minutes.
hour, cut it up over 2 or 3 episodes and give us 10-minute slices, right?
It was
and have Mando in between.
Like because I watched season 1, 2, like right away, like back to back. 1, 2, here comes 3. All of a sudden I was like, well, like, where the fuck is Grogu? What are we doing right now? The whole point is like, I want to save the child. I want to help him. I'm like the dad now. Like, and all of a sudden it's all the episodes so far this season. I'm like, Mando, are you even
episode
cool
2
anymore?
was
what
good.
are you doing now?
Episode 2 was like right on point, right?
Yeah. It still was, I don't know.
Okay.
I just hope.
Did you watch Andor?
I have not yet.
Okay. Ben, we'll get to you. I saw him move for it. Okay, hold on. Emily.
Which I know that, Ben, you said it's even better. But just because season 3 started, I just have been starting on season 3. So I know.
Did you also watch the Book of Boba Fett?
I only saw some of that.
Ben, did you watch it?
I watched the first maybe 2 or 3 episodes.
I just remember the reviews are kind of like,
Well, my concern with Mando season 3 is Boba Fett was also very scattershot. Here's an episode there's literally an episode in there that's 100% Mando. It's like a hidden episode.
Okay, so I guess
that's how he goes and gets Grogu back. Right at the end of season 2,
the other thing.
He gives Grogu away, which is like should be an Earth. It's a show-shattering event.
Well, that's why season 3, I was like, I guess we're not going to talk about it. Like,
he gets Grogu back in the other show in an hour-long episode that's solely
I have to go back and
to,
watch that.
I just hate the way that they've like cobbled stuff together.
They didn't even do they didn't even do a reference of like, I got him back when I blah, 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 blah.
Right.
all of a
Right.
sudden, like someone was like, "Oh, he's still here," and he was like, "He likes me" or something like that. It was like a one line. I was like,
Yeah.
"Well,
Yeah.
how long has it been? How'd you get? Like, what are you talking
Yeah.
about? Why is he
Yeah.
here?"
So let's
I enjoyed the
contrast
show,
that,
but I need to
Ben,
go back.
to Andor, which is a very singular
Ben's like gonna
linear
die.
storyline.
He's
I
gonna
mean, sure, it's
throw
got
up from.
yeah, and I have my own complaints about Andor. It's a little. I need wizards and shit in my Star Wars. I don't.
Okay.
I don't want
The people
boots
of the
on
city.
the ground as
Yeah.
I know a lot of people do like that, but that show was zipped up, tight knit, right? Like however you want to say it. It had a story to tell, and it told it without too much clutter.
I think the thing is, there is a place for both kinds of shows where the season of a show is a long movie and where a
Yes.
season of a show is actually episodes. And those are two different things, right? And Andor is a series of story arcs and that are very well done, and that show did a great job of that. I liked how that show made it feel like a real place. It made Star Wars feel real in a way that nothing ever had, before, where it's
really?
like I could see how this fake made up society actually
Works.
functions. Somebody has
Right.
provided me I've been doing a lot of role playing stuff lately, right? I could see how Andor could paint a picture of a Star Wars universe in which we could be a group of mercenaries playing in these worlds, right? It made it real. It made it like it fleshed it out. Mandalorian was like episodic of like, here's this character, he's very interesting, he's like getting into trouble, he's lucky, he's like, all this stuff is happening, he's fun, and like every episode in that first season is like whoa, and then maybe there's like a little bit of story that gets weaved in.
Yeah.
And I haven't watched season 3,
Yeah.
but I don't think anybody ever wanted it or needed it to be more than that.
Yeah, I'm just
Yes.
afraid that they're doing
Right.
that, and
That's
I
a great
hope
point.
that they don't. I hope
Right.
that like they're just trying to get to a point, and then we go back. I don't want it to be this big like journey. The
Yeah.
Adventures of Mando. That's it. Like I
Yeah.
just I don't want
Or
any more.
let's say that
Very simple.
that he gets involved in something bigger. It would be funny that he is a point of view character in a bigger story.
Sure.
But it sounds to me like they are telling a bigger story that Mando is in. But
Yeah.
is not Mando's point of view character of getting involved in this bigger operation, which
Yeah.
I think would be interesting. You gradually turn from this like lone mercenary man who like
The
does
wanderer.
mission
Yeah.
after a wander, mission after mission, and his success eventually leads him to get mixed up in a bigger story. But he's always your point of view into this like, I shouldn't be here right now, and I'm in over my head, but I'm so capable that I continue to be successful. Like, that would be an interesting story.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like that's what they're doing.
But also,
don't know.
the whole
I mean-
point of like I'm so capable. Season 3, he's like,
He was always sort of, and I think this is true
always
of
a
a lot
little,
of Star
but-
Wars stuff. They're all kind of ding dongs. Like Boba Fett was a ding dong, even in episode whatever 4 and 5 and 6, right? Dude fell
but,
into
like-
a gaping hole into the ground. Because
Like a dead
Han
body
Solo was
fall.
blind,
that-
and he just whacked him on
Right.
accident. Like it's a slapstick. That scene is
the fact though
absurd.
that it's supposed to be like, oh my gosh, a Mandalorian, like they're so good at everything, and then he's
Well,
like, "Ugh," like
yeah,
into
they-
shit, and I'm like,
it
what the
goes
fuck
like-
are you doing?
Yeah, he's like
Like-
this absolute unkillable like force,
I know.
and then he like slips on a banana peel. I mean,
I
I,
don't know.
hope they.
So I'm still gonna
we'll
watch it. I
see.
just hope they don't like.
It's
ruin
well
it.
made. It's well
Yeah.
done. It doesn't look like big asterisk here. The CGI is to a tolerable amount.
Yeah,
In terms of like environments and who's actually in the scene and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I know some of those shows are like It's just 3 people in front of a green screen. There's nothing for them to hold or touch.
No,
or,
this one seems good, but I don't know. I enjoy it. I just hope they don't like ruin it. That's all. So
Gotta milk that IP. Gotta get every dollar out of it. Man,
I got to catch up. I apparently need to go
do.
watch at least one episode of Boba Fett that I didn't see, and then start season 3.
I think it's
I need to
episode
go
5 or
back.
6, and then
okay.
maybe part of 7 where he actually gets Grogu. But
We'll go back and check it out.
yeah.
Okay. I wish they would have notified me or something. I don't know.
It should have just been like the Mando Christmas special.
or
Just release it.
something.
Boba
I
Fett's
don't-
not in it. It starts with Mando and ends with Mando, I think. And it's an hour long, just in that show.
Well, I was confused, but I was like, I guess we just assume.
Yeah,
And
we're just
so-
going to ignore that massive thing you spent 2
They were
seasons
like,
setting up.
Yeah, exactly.
They pretty
I
much
don't know.
did. So
Man.
All right, Ken, what is your number 3?
well, this is tough. I was going to pick Mando, actually.
That's okay. You can line up.
So we're
Yeah,
going to
that's
roll
That's
with it.
totally fine.
No additional comment.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope for the best. I'm going to give season 3 the full watch, unless, I mean, it would be pretty tough to tear me away from it now. But
Yeah, I'm not going to not watch it.
yeah,
Even if it's bad, I'm still going to.
yeah.
I mean.
Well, you
but-
guys have not made me any less excited to watch it. Like, I still want to go watch it. It's going to be
And it's-
cool.
Yeah.
In its defense, I think it does have a cool core plot line. They're just avoiding it like the plague, right? He's with that Bo-Katan craze or cries, who
Mm-hmm.
wants to be the Mandalore, which is the ruler, but she has to kill him to get the sword. And
Yeah,
she's
that
starting
whole-
to drink the Kool-Aid from his side now. So I think they have a cool central plot. You just need to like show it to us.
Yeah,
maybe?
it's just
Like,
taken a
do
while
it?
to like set it
I don't
up.
know why we're not
Which
going
also,
right.
I mean, I don't know if there's like 8 episodes. We're on 3, and it's like, are
That's
we
the
set
thing.
up yet?
We just
when,
burned an
when
episode
are we getting
for like
started?
yeah. I don't get it. Anyway,
So,
we'll see.
but
That's it.
All right.
yeah,
Well, my number 3 has to do with the LAN. And while it was a computer video game focused event, we did take a break once each day to play a board game. We played Blood on the Clock Tower, which is a game I have seen numerous YouTube videos and Instagram posts or whatever of talking about. I never have actually sat down and watched one of those YouTube videos, but it's a game that I keep seeing, Blood on the Clock Tower, and people seem to really like it. Well,
Yeah,
and I was
they
like,
do.
well, what the heck? It's a social deduction game. Which I don't have a lot of experience with, and typically am not the biggest. It's not the first thing I'm going to pull off the shelf, right? I've played Secret Hitler. It's probably the one I played the most. I think I played the Resistance like once or twice. And there's that 2-player one where somebody's a robot in human conditions.
yeah.
2-player
that.
social deduction.
I'm so
Love
bad at
that.
social deduction now. People are always like, "Do you want to double check this and that?" And I'm like, I have no fucking
No,
idea
I
what
don't
we're
care.
doing. Like, I'm so.
I
bad.
do really love Inhuman Conditions. That one is sort of like on the side.
That one's good
That's-
'cause it's
that
a
one's
one-on-one,
special.
though.
That's
that
sorta
one's a lot
unique.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've also played Night of the Ninja, which takes it and turns it more into like a fun, casual board game night sort of thing because you played a few times.
That's the game I'm horrible at.
Oh, you didn't like Night of the Ninja?
I'm Everyone's always like, "Well, check who you are, and then you'll know who they are." And I want to go, "You guys." I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know who anyone is right now.
Yeah.
Like, I am so
Get
bad.
ready for Blood on the Clock Tower or whatever. Where
Well,
there's,
that's why I could never play
Yeah.
that. I'd be horrible.
So I finally get to find out what Blood on the Clock Tower is. Think of like Werewolf or something like that, where people go to sleep at night and then the werewolf kills somebody. In this, there's a demon, and everybody's going to go to sleep at night, and the demon's going to kill somebody. So what's the twist? Well, Blood on the Clock Tower, first of all, requires a game master who is running the game. He has some sort of name. He is the blood on the clock tower. They were
he's
murdered
the person
first
who
night.
got killed. Yeah,
Yeah,
Oh.
he's the first to die.
So they don't
Is-
like play. They just like run it.
they're running the
well,
game.
Right.
They play to a
okay.
degree.
But they're not like a
A
character.
very
They're not
small
solving
degree.
they're not.
No,
they're not
they're not
solving.
helping.
Yeah, they're not.
They're not winning or losing, but they are playing a role. So this comes with like modules, essentially. The scenarios, I think, is what they're called, where it's a number of different roles that people can play, and I think it plays up to 20. It may be even more.
Right.
So
it's 4 plus 4 plus 16 or 12.
Something like
20.
that.
It's got to be 4 plus 4 plus 12.
Yeah, I think it's 20.
Right.
So each scenario can play up to 20, and everyone is going to get a unique role. They're either like a village person or an outsider or a minion or the actual demon. And the demon is like different in each one of these scenarios. And it's like draw a token from a bag and that'll tell you what you are. And everybody gets a little handout. Well, actually, it's a full 8.5 by 11 handout that explains what all the roles do. And so you know what's all in the game. You should. But like this is the first time we played it. We didn't like study or memorize all the roles.
Yeah.
Which comes up. That actually was a big deal. Because I played in one game, Ken played in two. So he could probably actually talk a little bit more about this than me. So everybody gets these roles, and then like close your eyes. The minions all find out who the minions are, and they know who the demon is. The demon finds out who his minions are, that kind of stuff. And then stuff starts happening, and some people have powers that work during the day when people are like, okay, this person died last night. Now let's talk about who we think's guilty or what. Eventually that turns into you can put forth a vote to execute somebody, and then everybody goes around voting if they want to execute that person or not. Another vote can come up if there are more votes again for the next person, then now they're the person on the chopping block and people can get executed or whatever. What's that game master doing? What is he doing? Well, everybody has all kinds of powers where at night, when everybody closes their eyes and the demon kills somebody, then the powers can get executed, and they might be like, you get to find out what role the person who got killed by the demon was. They might be like, you get to find out how many pairs of minions there are, like bad guys there are, like so sitting next to each other. They might be things
order
like,
matters, right? You can't move.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, you can't move. There might be things like you get to find out. I don't even know. There was like
tons.
So the game guy running the game is providing that information. Now here's the twist: some people's powers break other people's powers.
I don't like this.
And so you might be given information by this game master, and he has to pick. If you were poisoned, in the one we play, you could get poisoned, which means your power doesn't work. You still think your power is working. So he has to provide you with the wrong information, and it's his job to decide what wrong information you get.
Yes. So that's where he gets to play to a degree.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are also other things where, like, you might
Other
think
things.
you're a power, and you're actually not that.
Yes.
Like if you're the drunk.
This sound.
So there's two ways to get very, very wrong information. As a townsperson, you can be a drunk, which means at the beginning of the game, you got a token that says you're the clock turner, but the GM knows you're not. You're the drunk,
Oh.
which means every time you think whatever the clock turner's power does, he gives you bad info. The other thing.
This is already too much.
The other one is the poisoner, who helps the demon, who essentially has the same effect. They pick somebody at night, and that person's going to lose. They're going to get bad info. Ben, I'm rushing towards what you were very tastefully moving towards. So why don't you?
Well, it all should work. Like during the daytime, so at night, people's powers executed. People were given, let's ignore the poisoner for a second. People were given information. Now, based on that information, they can begin to use other people's information to try to figure out what's going on and who is who and who should we execute and all this kind of stuff. The good guys are trying to kill all the bad guys, and the bad guys are trying to kill all the good guys. That's what's trying to happen. And
How do you win?
There are rules based on how many people are left. Like if you kill the demon or if you kill enough of the good guys.
Okay.
Whatever.
Demon has to get down to like 2 for us for how many we had. 2 or 3, I think.
We were playing with like 14
We had
players,
a lot.
I think.
Yeah.
Or 12.
God, I would be like.
you
It's a
can even
lot.
during the day you can like get
It's
up
a
and
lot.
walk around and break off into little groups and be like, here's what I found out, or here's
my
my
God.
role. But you can also lie. You can also say I'm the Slayer and I execute that guy. And
At this point, you might as well say there are no rules. There are no rules in this game. Do whatever the fuck you want. And
but I think that
Obviously it works,
played
but-
out the right way. It could boil.
It could be really good.
It could work.
you're sounding like it didn't.
The first
It-
game I was expertly played by the bad guys.
Okay.
The poisoner, the order at which he
Yes.
used his ability to confuse the good guys by first confusing Phil. So Phil was given what he thought was good information, which was
Weak link.
completely incorrect. He was accusing you. You were then poisoned.
Yep.
And then we're given false information
Which meant-
related to the same minion role.
The only information that I got that I could have used to defend myself was a lie, but because of my power, which was exactly the information it gave me, I was 100% positive it was true.
Right.
So I had never been so. You'd have to see what the roles are to fully get
Yeah.
it, but I threw myself off the clock tower, essentially, with the
Well-
one piece of information I thought I could believe.
Right.
Kevin
And
smashed a window.
Yeah.
Dylan was the Slayer. He's the one guy who can just like take out the bad guy in one shot. He was killed immediately, but you were convinced he was a bad guy, so that was totally
'Cause of
fine.
the
But your
info,
information
yeah,
was
yeah.
false. So now Evan, who's stuck right in the middle of you and Phil, is super confused, and he's pointing fingers everywhere. So the very next night, who gets poisoned? Evan. And now all the information that Evan has is bad. And then I think
Too much for me.
then what happened? Like, I don't know. Like, they played the game.
It
One
was
game I played in, they
out of
played it in
control
such a way
after
there was
that.
no way we could have won. There was absolutely
Yeah.
no way. It was just me left alone at the end with the bad guys, and I made the completely wrong accusation and got. And I was so
Classic.
embarrassed.
Classic.
It wasn't any different
Well-
on the second play.
Would you play it again?
Well,
or
what I
what's
heard about the
your-
second play was Flint
You
got
heard.
the demon, which sort of broke it a little bit. And there's not a good way to stack the deck because everybody pulls chips from a bag. You can't if
Right.
like he should not have been
talking
in
about a
that
kid.
role. He's
Yeah.
a kid.
He
Yeah,
shouldn't
you
have
can't just
gotten
say
it.
he.
Yeah.
He
A 10-year-old.
a 10-year-old
Yeah.
playing with a bunch of grown-ups, like, and he's the person who has to be the most secretive.
I got to
Yeah,
give him
that
credit
doesn't
for. He was absolutely stone cold in the face of like 14 grown men.
Well, he is
accusing
probably
him.
the only non-drunk at that point.
That's fair,
So, I
yeah.
mean, he does have that advantage.
The thing is
That's
there's
scary. Though. I don't know.
there's so much going on in this game. There's the normal social deduction about like lying to somebody's face, but there's so much other stuff going on that I can't help but be like, well, I want give me another shot. Let me try again. I can do
Right.
it. Just
Yeah,
let
yes.
me try.
Play
I can do
again.
it this time. I will figure it out.
I would play it again,
Sounds like a nightmare to me.
but I think I do think it presses right up against the line of there's too many exceptions to the rule here.
Yeah.
And that's coming from a lawyer, right? Where exceptions are the name of the game. It's just like I saw the sheet of characters and just thought, well, I'm not going to read this. We'll just figure this
Yeah.
out as we go because
right.
I'm not.
I don't need to memorize all these. And
Yeah.
guess what? The only way you can figure it out is if you know
If
the
you
sheet.
if you memorize them.
If
yes.
you memorize them, which we
I
didn't
bet
do.
if you can probably even find like diagrams of like, oh, if you're this, these are your
Yeah,
three
probably
best.
works
These are your
out.
three. You could absolutely
Sounds like too
chart
much
this.
work.
It's a lot.
I still think though that
I still want to play it.
I know I want to.
Okay, so, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, so you guys like it.
Quinn as the
Addicted.
game master was feeding you the exact wrong information.
Not really,
you getting
but-
poisoned and getting bad information. The information he was giving you was like compounding.
Yeah.
It was it.
Well, it's funny
It's
that
just-
you say you would play
Sorry,
it
Ken,
again.
go for it.
Because most of the people that played it felt it was broken, quite frankly. So I think we'd have a hard time pulling together, or at least the people I talked to felt like, well,
Yeah.
this is just a exercise in stupidity because we can't keep track of all the misinformation.
Well, and I think
that's
right.
how I
I think
feel.
they want a way to win it, to To think it. If you just think it through hard enough,
Right.
it's not that.
You can't think this
It's
through.
inherently broken. It is broken.
I think it's supposed to be.
You're going to go on the roller coaster and you're going to feel like you're figuring stuff out. And at the end, you're going to realize that you were backwards and you weren't even looking forwards on it.
I think the fun in the game is at the end, if you can get the GM to be cooperative, right? And say, full credit to Ryan, like hosted it wonderfully. It was very atmospheric. We had the music going and everything. And he talked at the end, he told us at the end, okay, here's where you went wrong. Here's what you did right. That sort of thing. The fun of the game, I think, is the final resolution after the win and loss, right? Because
it's like the end of the movie Clue.
Right. Oh, you did this. And then that person said, but I did that. Yeah. You sort of go through like this chain of events that
Emotion.
In hindsight is a roller coaster of success and failure. Right. But
you're absolutely right. We had a room full of engineers and a lot of them, I think, didn't like it.
I'm sorry, but that sounds like such a
I wonder
nightmare.
how it would play.
We had a room full of engineers. I'm going to go.
I mean, I've honestly never felt so stupid in my life. And that's why I think I didn't even try to read the rules because I'm sitting there.
So Ken went to school for engineering and law school, and he felt like an idiot. So I'm going to now bow out. I'm going to head out that door is
I'm
what
not
we're...
smart. I just, like, a lot of those guys had the rules
could not do that, though.
Mostly figured out.
They're analytical.
And it looked like work to me was the problem.
Yeah,
and I don't want
that.
I don't want that.
But it's funny because then you and me ended up having the most fun, right?
Because you didn't take it so seriously.
Yeah.
Like you're not thinking of it like work, though. You're
going
just
to the
having fun.
dentist with friends is fun.
That's
more
I
fun
still
than
want to play
without
it.
friends, right? So
with friends is fun.
Well, that was
that's
just
happened.
I think somebody. Well, I think that's a quote from somebody. Like giving a really good review to a game.
True.
A video game was like, oh, it's great with friends, and it's like, okay,
like anything
so is everything else.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So is going to the dentist. I bet that would be
true.
pretty entertaining.
All right, Em, lay it on us.
Oh shit.
We are on the twos. So what is your number 2?
Okay, first of all, this week or month, whatever the heck it is, I was like, I don't think I have anything. So I feel like I was grasping, but I picked what we recently started doing with the kids, though I don't necessarily need the kids. That sounds bad, but the Nintendo Switch has an online classic game library.
Yes.
And we started doing Super Mario World.
No way.
And so Super Mario World and like Donkey Kong Country and all those old ones, like, man, I love that
I hate
so
those
much.
Games.
Because sometimes I don't want to
so
play the
hard.
like add whatever benefit to this like I don't I just want to fucking side scroll and I want to jump on enemies
and these guys.
I collect some goddamn bananas. Like that is all I'm doing.
I get it. Yeah.
And the fact that it is so flippin' hard still though, like
oh my god.
You go and you're like dead again.
Yeah.
God damn it, I'm dead again. Like
Talk
the whole
about
time.
Elden Ring or
But I don't know. I enjoy it. And I like that. I even saw though that they have like, so in the classic game library, they have all the old games, but they also have like Sega games and stuff, as I saw you could download.
I didn't
know about. So I need to double check if that was true. But when I tried to look it up, it was like there's Sonic and stuff.
I know you can get the Sonic collection on Switch. Which is like,
so maybe it was.
Who doesn't want to
but...
play like PS1 Sonic on a handheld? Anyway,
but
like the 3D Sonics.
No, God, no.
No,
not 3D.
Right.
I'm thinking of Genesis. Sorry.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
What a booger.
I thought you meant like some sort of like weird like
when they
3D.
got bad, basically.
Yeah, exactly. No, the Sonic Mania is really good. That was essentially was Sonic 4, right?
No, Sonic Mania is the collection on Switch.
Well, there's Sonic Mania was a guy who was
3D,
like really big in the like homebrew like Sonic community, got pulled in to like help make a new 2D Sonic. Maybe that came out like
you're
5
right.
years ago.
No, you're right. You're right.
It's really good though.
You're right.
It's kind of a mix of like Sonic 2 and 3 levels
You're
mixed
right.
with new levels. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Sonic is
You're
effing
right.
hard too. But you also
Yeah.
can't save in Sonic.
I think Mario's best. Super Mario World especially
Well,
is
Super
better.
Mario World,
It's
I
just
enjoy Donkey Kong Country because I used to play that with Lauren when I was in elementary
Nice.
school. And so
Nice.
that was always
Yeah.
a good one. But I don't know. I just enjoy the old ones because sometimes I don't want to add flipping weird
Right.
benefit. I just
You don't want to
game.
play in an Excel spreadsheet of skills
Yes.
and
I
power
wanna build
levels and
skills. I want to
Yeah.
just get through the level, and
Yeah.
that's it.
You got to watch the YouTube video for the best build, and then you got to go farm
No.
all the
Right.
stuff.
No, this
yeah.
I don't want.
Nothing says
Oh, wait.
video game like looking it up in a magazine how to beat it. Right?
But
Like back
okay,
in the
in my
day.
mind, Super Mario World is not like it's not that old. What year do you guys think it came out?
Which one is that?
Super
in
Mario
the-
World,
Super Mario World.
How did does it
1992.
Is it one? I never had Nintendo,
I guess-
so is
yeah, I
it Mario
guess,
1, 2?
One,
How
Well,
did it
World-
go?
1, 2, and 3 are NES, and then
Yeah.
Super Mario World was the launch game with the Super Nintendo or the
Yeah.
Super Famicom.
Yeah.
Japan.
Super Nintendo, not the N64?
No, Super
No, it's
Nintendo.
It was
yes.
Super Nintendo,
Mario
like
64 is
90
the Super Mario or is the Super,
92.
It was 91. In my mind though, I'm like, that's pretty new. It's not in
No.
any way.
Yeah.
I don't understand why you would think it's
My
not.
problem is I chart
Because
my
I
life by
had-
console and
That's
PC
true.
releases.
Because
so.
we had like we had the original Nintendo. We never
Right,
had the,
we did
the,
too. Yeah.
the like super.
Yeah, I
you know,
never
we
Why
had
would
never
I?
had that.
You're right. That was my dad. Why would I
We
need
had-
a Super Nintendo?
Yeah.
We have
We
a
had the
Nintendo.
original where you have to go and you have
Right.
to blow out the goddamn game because someone like left it on a table for a day or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. So I never had like a Super Nintendo. So in my mind, that's like new. Like that's like,
I
ooh,
see.
that's not
Gotcha.
too. But and in my, I don't know. I was thinking like late '90s. No, like
No, that
It
was
is very
late
early,
'90s.
which
Was
I-
N64.
yeah, I guess it was N64.
That was
but-
GoldenEye. That was.
Which I.
We've never touched the sun. We've never flown so high since then.
Since GoldenEye.
But I don't know. That's I just enjoy the classic old games, so I'm sticking
Yeah.
with those.
All right, Ken. What's your
So
number two?
I got a board game. We played.
Ooh.
We got Planted by
Good
PhD,
one.
PWH,
Like PhD.
PhD.
Phil Walker Harding?
Phil Walker Harding. I think you guys recommended this a while ago, and we've talked about
Mm-hmm.
it before, certainly. But I think you can get this at Target, which
Yeah.
I'm torn between like play at your local or buy at your local game shop, but also obviously the creators do very well if it's at Target. So
They make money.
yeah. Just a great. I was texting you guys. I said I like this. It's sort of a Wingspan light in a certain way in terms of card drawing and upgrading the plants. Very peaceful game. I like the scoring
It is.
system. It's not cheap or luck based. Right, the kids can read the cards easy enough. It's also short, 20 minutes once you know the rules. Beautiful artwork. I don't have any complaints about how the game is paced or how it
Yeah.
works. It's just an excellent board game. It's just
Yeah.
great.
Very affordable, too.
Well, I'm glad you
$30,
said
I
that.
think.
Because the quality of the components is also way above normal.
Right.
Like in
It's, like,
terms of
really
all the
nice.
resources and the bags and the it's in the $35 range, I want to say.
Yeah,
40?
I think it's like 30 or
It's-
35.
if I look online here, it's $30 from Target.
Okay.
Wow.
And
That's
you
a
get-
Comes in the
steal.
bags, and it's like wooden pieces and plastic pieces, but they're all like really nicely made.
Are
Yeah.
they plastic or are the waters like? Aren't they little glass
Plastic.
beads? They're
It's-
plastic.
The
Those little
water
plastic ones.
and the sun are plastic.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
rest are wooden pieces painted.
But like they're really nice.
They're really
the way
nice.
they
They're
are.
very well done.
Yeah.
I don't,
like you said, the art is like super.
I like
pretty.
the art of the
well, and
plants.
there's something sort of oddly. It's funny you mentioned like seasonal depression and that sort of thing because
Need some plants at this point.
Well, we also have our little seedlings growing. We planted them way too early.
Ooh.
And so I've got
Ready to go right
got
now.
pumpkin plants that need to go into the ground right now.
Like, damn it.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Well, I'm going to have to move them because they're also like drowning out everything that's way slower. But, playing planted, the sun's out a little bit longer. There's vegetation behind me. I don't know. It was a very it's been a really relaxing game to play, which our kids they like King of Tokyo, and it's always, boom, look what I did.
Yeah, and people get knocked out, and then they're like mad.
Then they're
'cause now
sad
like,
or they're mad or this or that. Yeah. Whereas like this one, there's a score at the end, but they don't even really care. So highly recommend it. Loved it.
Yeah, it's a good one. I
Played
agree.
it maybe 3 times in the past 10 days.
And it is good. What age of kids played it for you?
All of them.
Okay.
5, 6, and 8. The 6 and the 8-year-old understand it. 5-year-old, I don't think cares, quite frankly. She's there for the drama. But it says 10 and up. It could very easily be 7 or 8 up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think
it's
when
younger
we
than that.
played, I think Elsa even... Or
We played with Calvin.
No, Calvin played, yeah. So I was going to say, yeah, it's same thing. Like, young kids played it,
Totally
and they got
understood it.
Like, I didn't need to help him.
Yeah, I had...
And he's 6, so, yeah.
And there's not a lot of exceptions to rules, and maybe this is a knock at the game, but like between the extra things you can do, like tools and decorations, there's no limit on those, right?
Yeah.
And so I think one of the kids like had 3 of the same card, which gave you a point for each of the other type of card, and they scored like 15 points, which it's like a game that scores in the 30s, I would say, unless you're playing pretty hardcore.
Mm-hmm.
So not having to say like, well, you can only have one of those, or you can only have 2 of those, or, well, you can have this, but you can't have that. Just letting it sort of run wild, I think was a good choice for it. So I really liked it.
Yeah.
We're going to have to get
It's a
this one
good
back
one.
out, I think.
It's a fun one.
Well, it's not, it's not deep, but that's what I like in a game. I don't need,
Especially with kids. I don't want to play for long. I want a short game that
they're going to lose interest before I
get.
do. And I'm on a short fuse, right? So
Exactly. And if I also am enjoying the game during the, like, I'm 100% for that. So, yeah.
It's also simultaneous play. So now that we've played it 3 times, I don't have to deal out resources and tokens and stuff, right? So now again, that has something to do with them being older, but it's all just very simple. It's all very straightforward.
Yep.
I agree. It's a good one.
Well, I'm going to stick with Tabletop for my number 2 because while Emily and I haven't been playing much lately, we did manage to play some new games. And so we played Starship Captains when we were at Gen Con this summer. This was one of the ones I was the most excited to check out, and I was a little disappointed that it wasn't available at Gen Con when we were there. And then I sort of like... it did come out later. I didn't really think about it. So recently I did order some games, and this was one of the ones I picked up. I wanted to get Lacrimosa, and then I had to hit that free shipping, so I added in Starship Captains.
How convenient.
You know how that works. But so in this game, you are, it is like a Star Trek, and it's not Star Trek branded, but you're a Star Federation ship captain.
Yeah.
And you have this cool little dual layer player board that is your starship. And then you have different colored ensigns that, they're the red, the yellow, and the blue from Star Trek. And then you have, on your turn, you can either use an ensign to activate a room on your ship, and then you have to match the color. So I can spend a yellow guy to activate a yellow room. Or we're trying to complete missions. So there's a board in the middle, And then you have a ship token out on that board, and you're moving around the board to different planets to pick up different diplomatic missions like you would in Star Trek. And there's like funny art on the cards, and the mission names are kind of fun. So you either are like spending a guy to move your ship around or fight pirates, because where you move is along certain paths, and there are pirates sometimes there which will damage your ship, and the damage will take up cargo spots that you have on your ship. And then so when you get rewards for doing missions or you get rewards for fighting pirates, you have to have a spot to put that in on your ship. And if you are filled with damage, then you don't have anywhere to put it, plus damage is negative points at the end of the game. There's also a row of technology cards that you can add to your ship. So you're upgrading your ship over time. It's one of the actions you can do. You have like if you spend a blue guy, you can do the upgrade action. Yeah. And those are like more rooms for your ship that are typically better. So like the base ones are kind of like basic actions, and then you can get like a cool, if I spend a yellow guy, I can do essentially like a move and an attack or whatever. There's all kinds of cool stuff. Or you can just get sort of like lasting upgrades, like, hey, now when I kill a pirate ship and I get a pirate token, and the base rules is just a point at the end of the game, now I can spend those as if they are an artifact, or I can spend those as if they're a medal, which I use to upgrade my guys. Okay. There's also like you play until you run out of guys, until you can't do any more actions, and that will be variable for each player, because if you just activate a room, it costs one guy. If you do a mission, it may cost several people. The interesting thing about doing the missions, too, is that you can send anybody to go do the missions, but you only get the mission rewards if you match the colors. So a mission might take 2 guys. You can send any 2 guys you want, and if you're going to do it, you have to send those guys. Okay. But if you match the colors, well, then the nice thing is you're going to get a bunch of rewards. So the kind of fun this is sort of sounds like it's just a basic, I don't know, I get workers, they're different colors, they activate different things. Yeah. I fly around the board doing missions, fighting pirates. It's like first come, first serve. So when you play multiplayer, like the first person there reserves the mission. The only sort of like gimmick to the game then is that at the end of the round, when you can't do anything else and you've passed, you've used all your guys, the top part of your board, as you imagine like an Enterprise, right, has the dish. Yeah. And that actually works out to be this little track that only fits one guy. They're all in a line. All your guys that you spent are in a line in the order that you spent them.
They're like rotary phones.
And then at the end, for the beginning of the next round, you push the guy in the end. They all roll through this track back to your like area, and then there's always so many guys you have to leave. You have to leave 3 guys behind. So like the order you spent stuff in the last round affects the order you're going to get, which guys you're going to get back for the next round, and then you sort of slide them out. That's sort of like the one gimmick to it. I would be very curious to hear what the game group thought. I know me and you played this, Em, and then I played it the next day 4-player, and
which I'm sure is more exciting though.
But I don't know. You don't interact with each other at all. So I didn't
on the main board a little bit, like you can take away from each other, but nothing crazy. You're not like big time interacting.
Yeah, I found that moving up to the 4-player from a 2-player game didn't change the game really at all, because you're not like ever fighting with each other for anything. Like maybe somebody's going to get to someplace first and take that stuff, but I never was like thinking too hard about it that way. I was always more just like, all right, well, what can I do? I guess I'll go over here and do this.
Yeah.
I was never like, oh shoot, you took the very thing I wanted in the place I wanted, and it wasn't that kind of game. It doesn't really do anything new. It's not super exciting, but I think the presentation, the way it looks, the way the double player boards are, and the map, and all the fun art on the mission cards, I liked all that. You know, the names of the upgrades.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it's fun and kind of like a light to medium weight.
Okay.
It's
Didn't
not
take that long.
not a must-have, but it is definitely, since it's good and it's new. It's something I would love to play right now. You know, if somebody's like, "Let's play
Sure.
Starship Captains," I'd be like, "Absolutely, that's an easy
Yeah.
one."
It's definitely not like you don't have to. I mean, you could think really hard about it, like the order of you spending and like what you get for point. Like you could think really hard, but you don't have to have fun. And so I do like that you can just be like, no, I'm just gonna grab this card, and you can just kind of like play
Pretty
as you
forgiving
go,
if you're not.
which which I like because it can just be kind of a fun light game. Or I mean, you could make it harder, but I
Yeah.
just like that it's not like a big brain burner kind of game, which lately I do not want. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's I don't know that I would ever have to pull the rule book back out. I think I could just take this game
Yeah,
out and be like,
probably
let's
not.
play it, and just set it up and play. We actually,
is
it was
good.
short enough I taught it and we played it at 4-player, and we still managed. We did play another game after that. We played Guild of Merchant
Wow.
Explorers. So
yeah, it was pretty short. I think we played it. Did we play it twice in one night, or maybe we were learning it, and I said, hey, we could play this twice if we knew it.
at 2-player, it would be less than an hour, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it'd be a lot of fun. It'd be a really fun less than an hour.
Nice.
So it looks like a big boy game in a big boy box, and it's not. It's just a little kind
Well,
of
that's
goofy
cool.
game.
Right?
Yeah.
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 It's just kind of a fun one.
Nice.
Okay.
All right, here we are. We've arrived. Number 1.
Well, first I didn't have something, and so I made a list of things that I like and things I don't like.
Okay. Sure. I
We're
guess
with
you can
you.
do that.
Has
We're with you,
nothing
yeah.
to do with this. But then
Yeah.
I thought of something I could do, but I'm just going to do both. So things that I like. Here we
Okay.
go.
I know I'm not on this list.
Candy,
Yeah.
wine,
In any particular order?
Yeah, what kind
not
of
just
candy?
any order.
Just
Cheese.
stream of thought. Okay.
It's just that sun.
Yeah. My boy.
Wait till the summer. I bet you won't say sun.
No, then I'm going to hate it. It's going to go on the hate list because I'm hot. Dresses / I hate pants. My computer upstairs. I hate the basement. Those are things I like. Okay. Very
Wow.
short list.
So you like your computer being upstairs because you hate the basement.
I hate
I
how
see.
it's dark and cold.
Sure.
I can't take
But
it.
again, in the summer.
In
that's
the
where you
summer,
want-
I'll
yeah.
probably enjoy the basement.
I want to sleep in the basement this summer.
Do it.
My basement and your
Next
basement.
to your waterfall fountain that you have
Yeah.
put in the wall.
Oh, God. Fingers
The
crossed.
trickling of the
No water,
Water
this year.
feature.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, things I hate. When you're at a 4-way stop and someone gives you the wave through.
Yes.
Even though you were like
They
There are
stop
studied
first.
rules for how it
Yeah.
works.
rules.
It's
for a
very
reason.
simple.
Just follow the instructions.
Yeah.
I hate that there's never enough chip clips in the house.
Yep.
Why can I never find a chip clip? Do we have
Yeah.
too many chips? Or are there not enough clips? I don't know.
I
Is it
think chip
both?
clips get hijacked for other purposes.
Toys.
I don't like
yeah.
it.
We don't have a lot of
That's true.
clothespins.
That's an easy fix,
so
though. Right? Easy fix
would think.
next to this.
You would
Get-
think.
You can probably buy 20 pounds of chip clips for $20 and get it
Like
delivered.
20
bulk
pounds.
chip.
Right.
I'm gonna type bulk chip clips. Bulk.
But what if they like
Chip.
snap every time you know, they just
clip.
are
Yeah,
That's
you-
fine
you
because
can't
you
get-
bought them in
You know what would
bulk.
probably be better? It's just like clothespins. Like,
Yeah.
I
yeah.
bet those would hold up better almost.
Custom bag clips and
Get,
bulk chip
Custom.
clips.
Paper, like the metal paper things that you would put on your fingers.
Oh,
I've got
yeah.
them. What am I talking about? What are they even called?
I know what you mean.
Jumbo magnetic
those
clips.
Clips?
I've got
If you buy 125,
How many? Or how much?
they're
what's the
$1.15
weight?
each.
But I don't want to spend like $150 on.
Yeah.
If you get up into the 600 to
You're selling
899,
it
they're
to me
only
like a-
$1.60.
How many pallets is that?
So if
Can
we
you
buy
imagine?
600, it's
Where would
only
I keep
$636.
See, finally, we got there.
There we
That's
go.
a deal.
And you get to put your logo on it.
It's like
Oh
date
my
night
gosh, we could get
dice on-
600 date night dice
Should
chip
we start
clips.
passing out chip clips because we know people
But then,
don't
if
have
you're
them?
gonna get them, you have to sell them in like lots of 50. You can't break the bulk.
I'm gonna add
sale
my
chain.
logo.
But you have to always be like, it's only 55 cents a chip clip, like that kind
Right.
of thing. But they're still
Think
like,
of the
that's
savings.
a ton of money. Okay, never enough chip clips. I hate slow people. That
Yeah.
sounds mean.
Yeah.
I hate it.
No, I'm with you.
So walking to like school pickup or anything. Oh my gosh. Is this how people walk? It is so, I want to honestly push them on the ground.
I think we're both fairly high energy, high speed walkers. That's what that is.
I hate it. I'm 5'2". If a 5'2" person is like I'm sorry, like you are going way too slow. I put down people. I just hate people.
Just all of them.
It's funny you say that because normally I would be inclined to agree, but I find myself refreshed after LAN about people.
You've got a new outlook on people.
There, you're happy.
Just as long as they're all gamer nerd engineers.
Yeah, nerds. I said people that take things too seriously.
Yes.
Because, I mean, obviously that could be in lots of circumstances, but like even at work, someone was like, oh, we didn't dust this section. I want to be like, nobody fucking cares. Yeah. Nobody fucking cares.
Nobody
and the
noticed.
fact that you care, if someone didn't notice, nobody cares. And even if they notice, guess what? They don't care. And just in general, people, I don't know. So
I have to put my phone number in here to get a digital mock-up of our logo on the chip clip.
Dice on chip.
I'm going to put Emily's phone number in.
Put my phone number. You can pass it out. You can
use
what
mine.
Dates I get. Okay, but then I thought that we did play a game after I made my hate list. So my game, which I'll just do real quick, is beer and bread. Ta-da!
Oh, look at that.
Ooh.
So this is just a 2-player game. We'll see if I remember how to talk about this. You have a board in front of you. You have resources. You essentially get cards that you, for some rounds, pass back and forth. And some rounds, you just keep your set of cards for the round. And on the cards, there's like 3 sections. So you can get resources from it if you use the top half. You can get points from it from spending resources. Or you can do the bottom half, which gives you a benefit. So when you're passing them, you're kind of like, wait, what was the resource on that? Is that person going to do it? Am I going to get back in time?
It.
But it's like it's a simple game.
Yeah.
At the end, you just like count up the points, and you make beer and bread, obviously, but your points at the end is whichever one you got less points in, right, Ben? Did I say
Correct.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can't.
So you can't just
one.
go crazy.
Yeah.
But I thought it was like a fun, light to medium weight game again. I like that's just 2 players because you are just kind of like battling it out. You don't think too much about it, but it is that thing of like you pass the cards and you're like, shit, what was the other resource on that card that I need? And trying to remember. No, I don't know. I just thought it was like a fun, light, nice game. This would be a fun game to even like bring, if you go out to have a drink or something.
I am not going to say too much then because I want you to continue to have that attitude. I would like to play this one again.
Oh, that was fun.
We only played it the one time. I really would like to go at it.
It says 30 to 45 minutes. I would say that. I think if you knew it, it could probably be closer to 30.
Okay.
This game is a 2-player game, and it is a 2-player battle in the disguise of a Euro game. It looks like a farming Euro game. It has all the fancy resources. You're baking bread. You're brewing beer and all this kind of stuff. Well, guess what? It has all kinds. You only have 9 spots to store resources, and if you generate resources and go over that limit, guess what? You have to give all of those to your opponent.
Whoa.
And so every turn you have a card, you have to play a card. You either play it to gain resources, you bake bread or brew beer with it, which means you have to have the right resources that line up with what's on the card. And you only have 9 spots, and all the recipes require stuff that you never have, so it's always a pain. And you only have 1 spot for beer and 1 spot for bread. And those card spots don't clear until you play a card the 3rd way, which is for an upgrade. That's how you clear it so you can make an extra spot. And now here's the thing, like Emily said, it's played over 6 rounds. Rounds 1, 3, and 5 are a draft. So I take 1, pass. We pass back and forth. In rounds 4, 5, and 6, you keep your cards, and a part of that is you pick up any cards you played as a resource the round before. And then there's like a shared 3 cards you can switch from.
But it sounds more complicated than it is.
It's not complicated to
It's
play,
not,
but I think this game can get really cutthroat because let's
you
say
probably could.
I know that your score is the lowest between your beer and bread, and we're late in the game, and I see that the cards are there are different points, but they're roughly the same, and I have brewed 4 beers and baked 4 breads, and you have done 4 breads, but you've only done 2 beers. Now I know you need to get 2 more beers to catch up to me.
Yeah. You
Guess
just
what
take
cards
them.
I draft? All the beer ones.
Yeah.
And I just put them as resources or upgrades or whatever. I don't even need them.
Throw 'em away,
I don't
yeah.
even brew any more beer the whole rest of the game. I just steal those cards from you.
Which
and that's
it's
the
hard
thing.
to tell, though, like how much, because you just keep them in a pile.
We didn't play this way. We
you
didn't do
supposed
that.
to show?
I wasn't. No. Well, you're supposed to. They're face down, but
Yeah.
they're supposed to be stacked so you can see how many of each there are. But you can't see how many points they were.
Who cares?
We didn't play this way. We were just learning it. We were playing it. But this game can get to be where like I really want to bake this bread card. It would be very good for me. I'm building up to that kind of resources. I can't do it right now, and I don't want to pass it to you.
Yeah.
I could play it as a resource, which means I'll get to pick it back up next round. That sounds like a wonderful idea, except I'm full on resources. And if I play this as a resource card, I'm going to generate a bunch of resources for you.
Yeah.
This game is so good because of those kind of decisions of like you never you never have easy choices. And all the resource generating things run out. They get stocked at the beginning of the round and they run out very quick. And then you have it like, let's say I played a bunch of resource getting stuff. I can't even get any resources because I built up to pull wheat and all the wheat's gone. And so like there are so many little tiny, and then when you're playing as upgrades, those upgrades last throughout the whole game. Maybe you have an extra spot for resources. Maybe you can have 2 breads in the same spot instead of having to clear it all the time. I felt like when we got to the end of this game, I played through the game, but I did not in any way play it efficiently. I didn't know.
No.
I had way too many upgrades. I barely scored any points. I didn't know what was going on. Like the ceiling for getting better at this is very high, I think, at least compared to where we are right now. But it's a short
you could just
2-player
play
game.
it like whatever though too.
You could. You totally could.
What I like.
Yeah, and that's why I didn't want to say any of that stuff because I want to play this again.
You didn't want to say it, but you just said it.
Said it anyway.
I don't.
Yeah,
because
like-
I didn't play it the way I'm talking, and Emily didn't play it the way she's talking.
we-
and
yeah, we were just
typically,
learning.
we don't play very like
Right.
super cutthroat like that unless we've played the game a ton of times.
Yeah.
But that's where the game could get to, and I like that. I like that we could play this like a very casual, fun Euro. Let's see if I can get all my
Like a
resources to work
short
out
Euro.
Yeah, I just wanted
make
to
my
work.
stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
And then once we've done that 5 or 6 times, now all of a sudden I'm looking over. I'm looking at your cards. I'm looking at what you have, and I'm drafting based on that. And I'm making decisions specifically not to score me points, but to keep you from scoring points. Because I don't need to have a high score. I just need to have a higher score than you.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
So
But yeah.
this one is one to explore, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll
I like
see, but
that.
I liked it on the first play and whatnot.
Nice.
So yeah.
Ken, what's your number 1?
It's my number 1. It's LAN Party. It was super fun.
Yeah,
It's
that's
nice
a good
to do
one.
things. We've talked about it 3 times now. It's just nice to. I don't really have anything specific. It's nice to hang out with everybody, get out of the house. It's really cool
Gosh, it
to.
was
I never in my life would have thought at 35 I'd be hanging out with you and 14 guys that I don't really know.
Don't
To be,
know.
I mean, I know most of them, but
Yeah.
you know, it's just kind of cool. It was fun. Played some good games, played some very bad games, which was an experience to laugh about now. But I don't know. I don't know what my message is here. Get out there and spend time with your friends.
Yeah.
Make
Go
new
hang out with
friends.
friends.
Go meet people online and get catfished.
Make new friends.
Yeah.
Keep
Yeah.
the old.
Yeah.
I'm completely with you. It's so hard to go to something like this. It's so to go to that game night or whatever, or get on the like it's great once you've become friends. LAN was
Sure.
amazing because we're all friends.
That's true. Yeah.
But we had to go through all the hard stuff of like getting to that point, and then now I
talk to
feel
people
so.
and-
Yeah.
I mean, we've got a notoriously. I mean, LAN is sort of quiet to begin with in a certain way because everybody's just looking at a separate screen. But then we've got a group of guys who are not always the chattiest, myself excluded. But I don't know. It's a really cool group. I never would have guessed that you'd find people with that interest. So, or with a shared interest. So if you have an obscure hobby or what you think is an obscure hobby, you probably don't. You're not that special. Go make friends.
Go make friends, loser.
And every time we do a big gathering, it's more fun than the previous one was because I am better friends with everybody.
Yep.
At first, because it's always socially intimidating. And it just was like, I'm going to force myself to go do this. And now I look forward to it. And now even this last one, it's like, man, I hate that
I want to go
ended.
right back. Yeah. I mean, that was probably my fourth for context, right? First one sat next to you, didn't speak to anyone, right? I seem to recall it was very quiet, not in a cutthroat way. It was just quiet.
Yeah.
This one was
and
on.
I was even the outsider then, but you were more so, right?
Yeah.
And so it was like I was just getting to know these guys, and then you were with me. And so we were kind of like, hey, gang.
You're with the outsider.
I suppose the nice thing about a LAN party is you've got to have bodies, right? So it requires we just get whoever we can, basically.
That's how you make friends.
So
What
being in
weirdo
a
wants
group
to
class
come?
that maybe you don't want to be in, right? Could work out.
That works.
Just stick with it. Be weird.
That's the key. Stick with it.
Everyone's looking at you and judging you. So
Right. Absolutely.
Right. Whatever.
You're judging them, though.
Judge
so.
them back.
Right. Judge harder.
I mean,
Right.
if Emily's there, you know she's hating you, so.
I do hate people. So. I mean, sorry, but God, I hate people.
I thought you were going to talk about natural selection, too, for 90 minutes.
Oh my
but
God. Talk about well, there are definitely a couple games on that list that we need to retire permanently or temporarily. We went through an interesting, I'm glad you said that because it's like we played a fair share of games that I would not ever play again, I think.
That's funny.
you got to find that diamond in the rough. We were searching. We were hunting.
That's true. I think it was Wreckfest was the surprise hero. Just
Absolutely.
a simple racing game. Yeah.
Thankfully, it was on Game Pass because it's still $30 on Steam. So nobody bought it except people who already had it.
Right.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
And then, but we all could get it on Game Pass and play it, and I loved that. That was so much fun.
Yeah, that's great.
Nice.
What about you, Ben? What's number
My
one?
number one.
Number
Emily and I watched a movie.
This,
Morbius.
you know what? This was going to be one of mine, but because you did it, that was the other reason I made my list and stuff.
We watched The Unbearable Weight of Massive
Oh, you did?
Talent.
Okay.
Yes.
Talk to me. But
In
no
this
spoilers.
action-packed comedy, Nicolas Cage plays Nick Cage, channeling his iconic characters as he's caught between a superfan, played by Pedro Pascal, and a CIA agent, played by Tiffany Haddish.
What?
This-
I didn't know
I'm
that
gonna-
was an
I'm gonna
aspect of
put-
the movie.
Pedro on my list of things that make me happy. I'm
There you
going to
go.
put him
Yeah.
on the list also.
This movie was so awesome.
I love this
Was it?
movie.
Oh,
I thought it
good.
was so
All right.
good.
It's really
I'll make Megan watch
great.
it with me then. Okay.
Then I won't. We won't spoil it. It's so like at first it's very weird. Nicolas Cage playing Nick
Which
Cage,
is perfect, though.
and it just turns into like it's just
It turns into even weirder, but in a good way.
Okay. All right.
it gets like kind of crazy, but in a fun way. It's kind of like
Yeah.
it's not comedy, but it reminds me of like back when I first saw like The Hangover for the first time.
Okay.
And it was just like it just sort of like started in one place and just went.
Just
It
keeps
just
going.
just keeps going and
It
going. That's how this movie is. You're just like we
Sure.
started with.
You're just
I
there
was just
for the ride, right?
right.
Yeah.
I thought maybe this was like a weird take on Nick Cage's life or something.
Yeah,
and
I thought
just
I
goes.
wasn't sure if it was like
No,
autobiographical
Much
or
more like
It
just
goes off like a
goofy
rocket.
Where you're like, okay, where are we going now? And then
Okay.
like weird shit happens, and you're like, okay, let's just keep
Sure.
going. And
Whatever.
I don't know. I love this movie though. I thought it was funny.
All
I
right,
thought
we'll have to
everyone
watch
was
it.
great in it.
Yeah. Okay.
Like Nick was great in it. Pedro was great. They were all great, and their
Good.
characters were hilarious and stupid and like great. So I liked it.
Plus the like Nick Cage, Pedro Pascal, their
Them
like
together
friendship.
seems like in real life they probably are. It
Dang,
seems like
that's
it
good.
probably is like real life, in which case it is just weird but also fun.
Yeah.
In like the weirdest
Yeah.
way possible.
I'm
I
in.
don't know. It was good.
I'm
though.
in.
I enjoyed it.
What was it? The enormous weight of massive talent.
The
Highly
unbearable
recommend.
weight of
The
Yeah.
unbearable
talent.
weight
That's what it is.
of massive
So
talent.
good. It was good though. I liked it.
Wonderful. All right. Well, that's our countdown list. We got anything else?
What's this called? Squid or
Yeah.
fish?
Time for squid or fish.
Crustacean
Gift
or
a curse.
gift or curse?
Wait, I need to go back
Crustacean
to
or
it.
disease?
Here we go. Okay,
That
Ben,
would be
you want to
good.
go first?
That would work.
Sure, I'll go first.
Okay. Gift or a curse? Countertop butter. You know the
Oh.
butter you see in the little like jar, not jar.
Does it have the
but
little
Like
glass
the-
cover?
Yeah, the little.
Glass
like an
cover?
old
Yeah.
1950s type thing? Yeah.
Yeah, gift or a curse?
Oh, 100% gift. Absolutely.
Why?
That butter at room temp being spreadable at all times, that's perfect, man. And you know, it doesn't have super long shelf life sitting out on the counter, so you're
You just got to eat more.
you're going to that sourdough. You're getting toast a couple
Oh,
times
God.
a day
Sourdough with butter.
with butter, and
Oh.
not just like not fridge butter. We're not no.
Right,
This is
like good,
countertop
This is
smooth
Kerrygold
spread.
salted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is the good. This is not the cooking butter. This is the eating butter. This is the eating butter.
I wish it was labeled like that. Instead of salted and unsalted, it's cooking and eating butter.
Eating. Yeah, grass fed, you know, this is the good stuff. That's what you put on the counter, and it doesn't
Right.
last long. A little bit, you know, when you
You gotta do
put
a half stick at a time.
there is a stick of butter on the counter under one of those little glass covers the same day that you bake fresh banana bread.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's when it comes out.
Nice.
Okay. I will give that to you. It's a gift. It's a
It's-
gift because
Okay.
it's already room temp.
Yeah.
You don't
Are
have
these-
to be like ripping your bread apart.
Look at all
as
these
you.
modern like technologies trying to just achieve what room temperature butter can do by mixing oils into our butter. We don't want
Right.
any of that. I don't want your fake spreadable butter.
want
I want
old-fashioned.
actual spreadable butter.
Yeah. I need to get a butter tray now. My dumbass cats would flip it open and eat
Well,
it.
that's we can't have one.
Yeah,
the
that's
cats
why
would
we can't have it.
they would get it.
I don't
I
know
put
if
it
our
in the
cats would
spice
open.
Put it in the
You
spice
gotta put it like in a cupboard.
cabinet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
My dad would always keep things in the microwave that the pets
No.
would get to. So I'd
No,
be like, oh,
no,
something's in the microwave.
No. Same with
Like-
oven. I'll kill you if you put something in the
Oh
oven.
my god, don't put something in the oven. I don't
I
need
will-
to preheat
Oven's
plastic.
dangerous because it's
Yeah.
going to get you never start the microwave without having opened it
Yeah, I have to
first. But the
open it.
Right.
oven,
You have to open the microwave
Yeah.
to start it. Yeah.
The
Right.
oven, I'm gonna preheat that shit and walk away
I'm not
and come
looking
back
in
to
that
Who knows
shit.
what
Are you
got
kidding
roasted?
me? Yeah.
No, that's dumb. Can gift or a curse cashmere sweaters?
I wouldn't know. So I'm going to assume guess. I mean, gift.
Gift? Why do you think it's a gift?
They sound nice and I think they're expensive. So
I bet they're very soft. I
don't they
imagine them
shrink?
to be.
Don't they shrink like crazy?
Are they hard to take
curse.
care
None
of?
of us.
I think they're high maintenance. Yeah.
100% they're hard to take care of.
Curse. Answer's
is-
curse.
Oh, he flipped real quick.
Saved it. I saved it.
It is. It is a curse First of all, they are like $150 for a sweater? No. They shrink. You have to dry clean only that shit?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No. That's not worth it.
Now I'm very
And I
curious,
also
though.
guarantee it'd be soft for like a day, and then it wouldn't be worth $150.
Right.
I don't
not
know.
worth
Maybe
it.
they're always soft.
But you have to dry clean it every time.
I've never been to the dry cleaners. Maybe I'd like that.
And you're not going to go. So
How does anything actually get clean?
I don't know
dry?
what that means.
It's not actually dry cleaned. It gets wet.
Okay.
Professionally wet.
Right. It's I don't know.
What are they
Look it
doing back there?
You don't
They're
want
like-
to know. They probably
don't
just
know.
throw in their goddamn
They
washer
just-
and then they.
No, they
This
just.
is-
That's the only thing they don't do is put it in a tumble washer, right? Still gets hosed down.
You know, I've never looked up what dry cleaning means, and I've never been to a dry cleaner, and I have no intention of searching that. And this is one of those times that I just wish that we were sometimes in the world before you could search the answer to anything.
so we
Sometimes you
would
just
never
didn't know.
Yeah.
Well,
And you
just don't
never
know.
would know. Unless you knew somebody who knew,
I got
you'd
a
never
guy who
know.
dry cleans.
And it'd be that thing that, like, in 2 weeks, someone would mention it, and you'd be like, "Oh my god,
I've been dying
wait
to
a
know
minute.
how that works.
Are you talking about dry cleaning clothes?"
Stop looking
and it
shit
just
up.
happens
Yeah.
to
That's all.
I'm not gonna look it up.
not gonna look it up. Okay, Ken, gift or a curse?
Me.
Again. Yeah. No. This
Sorry,
is Ben.
Ben.
My turn.
Sorry.
I
Sorry.
answered
Ben.
so
I'm sorry.
profoundly
Sorry,
accurate
jeez.
and true.
Well,
that you
Ben
just
was so
forgot it
obsessed
happened.
with dry cleaning that I thought it was him. Ben, frozen grapes. You know how people will like freeze them as if it's like a sweet treat or
I don't
something
know
at
that.
dessert?
Nature's
Well,
candy.
frozen-
That's what
yes,
my
there
wife
you go.
says when she
There you
freezes
go.
grapes.
Okay.
Your wife freezes grapes,
Here
and
we
what
go.
does she say?
She
Nature's
freezes
candy.
a whole bunch of shit that is just not supposed to be in the freezer.
Nature's candy.
Nature's
Yeah, because
candy.
it's
Frozen
like,
grape.
oh, it tastes
Gape, grape.
frozen
Look,
grapes.
I am not particularly picky, but I don't want a frozen grape at all. This
Correct
sounds
answer. Correct
this sounds
answer.
like somebody's cursing this on to me.
Yeah.
Why do I want a frozen grape?
It sounds
I
like an
grapes.
inconvenience.
Why would I want to take
At
my
least.
grape and make it harder for me to eat it? I don't know. Why would I do that? I don't understand.
Wouldn't
This is a
that
curse.
also
I'm
make-
assuming
Absolutely.
you're saying curse.
100%.
You are correct. It is a curse.
Oh,
Why are
my
we doing
goodness.
this?
Yeah.
Why are we doing this?
Stop it.
A grape
bread.
on its own is delicious.
Throw bread into
don't-
that category. Don't
Does she freeze bread?
No.
Oh.
We almost separated. No, that's not remotely
I was
true.
like, hold up.
Frozen, white.
No, she has never put any. I don't
Wait,
think
what
she's
else
ever,
does she freeze though?
I don't know. I may have over exaggerated based on the grape.
Just one grape one time.
Based on the
now
grape.
she is the lady who freezes everything.
Does freezing grapes make them mushy? I literally will not eat them if
I
they're
bet they would
frozen.
be when they
I
thawed.
feel like they'd be gritty,
Any
right? Like
any
they would
crisp,
be like,
It literally
crisp.
cuts it up. Yeah.
Yeah, the freezing, the ice crystal, the
Oh, you know what else
expansion.
she freezes? Chocolate, which
I'm okay with that.
oh, I'm fine with that. I like
understand
chocolate
that.
really cold, so I
Yeah.
agree with
a
that.
good crunch on
Yeah.
a
Well, you get
chocolate.
well,
I hate, like,
especially a
melty
nice chocolate, a high-end chocolate. You get that
Yeah, I want
bouquet
it-
late
Yeah.
as it thaws in your mouth. Mm.
I'm
What
fine with
about
chocolate.
like really nice dark chocolate with some red wine? I could do that right now. That
Oh
would be
yeah,
good.
sure. Like
Sure,
no one's,
anytime. Call me tomorrow morning.
no one's ever like yuck
Gift.
for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
You can't make up your own.
And we're gonna play Gift of Curse, and we're just gonna talk about stuff we like and
We're
say
like
gift.
apple pie. But never have I had a grape and I go, you know what this grape could use? Being frozen. Like a grape is good on its own.
Here's as close as I'll go. Apples gotta be in the fridge because they get crispier
I guess
in
Okay.
the fridge.
I'm fine with that, but I'm also fine with it warm.
I mean, I'll
Or,
take it
I
warm.
mean,
Yeah, don't get me wrong.
You know, whatever you want
Room
to
temp.
call it.
I
Yeah.
had to admit,
not like
the
warm.
apple in your lunchbox that was next to the ice pack all day,
Better.
better apple.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fresher.
Gift.
Yep. Yep.
We only talk about things in
Proved
that
it.
way now. Gift. Okay, so who am I on?
Ken.
Me.
Okay, Ken. Gift or a curse? Bitmojis. You know the little like you can make that picture of yourself
I like that you assumed you'd need to explain it, which you're correct because I do not know what
I
those
knew.
are.
I saw your face look confused.
I believe they're tied into Snapchat in some way.
Are they?
Also.
See, I got rid of Snapchat like
I don't. Yeah, I also don't have.
I don't
years
have
ago.
Snapchat either.
yeah.
or I
So
think I have an
curse.
account that people. Why?
What's a why?
Yeah,
Because
I
it's
need
associated
a reason.
with Snapchat, like the worst
That is true.
communication app
I
ever.
don't know who thought Snapchat was a good idea. It is the dumbest thing. I don't
know.
If anything, it's for like creepy people, right? To be like,
Yeah, it's
and
for
send weird pictures.
wiener pics. Yeah,
Yeah, and then they're like, "Ooh, gone." Like,
dedicated to can't catch me.
it's like creepy guys.
Now,
This
hold
was
on.
Made for.
Let's hang on to this
Oh,
Bitmoji
here's
here
the
for a second.
Snapchat defender. All right.
Every
Hold on.
everybody
I like Snapchat.
everybody liked making their me on the Wii, and a bit
Sure.
isn't a Bitmoji
Oh, is that
just
a
a
Bitmoji?
But I'm
upgraded
not-
version of that?
But I'm not sharing my Wii person.
But wasn't it
And
fun
also,
to
that
be
was
like
fun
you
back
open
in the
up?
day because like the internet was new.
You're like
Right.
gonna play. You're gonna play Wii bowling,
There
and you gotta
also,
pick the
like-
one that looks like you.
There also was like Facebook was brand new and like it was. That's a whole different
Look,
world.
the fun of
right
a
now.
Wii,
How much-
a
If
I'm
Wiimote
sitting
was
down
that
and
you would
making a-
log into your brother's account
Yeah.
and change it to look like a hideous swamp creature and log back out.
How close can I get a Bitmoji to look like myself? Hold on, let me log.
Are you
Do I have an
Googling this,
account?
or are
We're
you
also,
making
like-
one?
We're also so far past Bitmoji on some level because
Just feel
we're
like
in
I can
straight
use
up
a
like
Picture
Avatar.
myself.
Well,
Yeah.
like these filter, it's just like
Yeah, you can just filter.
It's just like a CGI person, so
What do you
it's
think
a
my
curse.
Snapchat password
Is it? I don't know. It's a curse. I'm going with curse.
I'm saying curse. It's
All
a
right,
curse. I don't
correct
care
answer.
about those.
I'm trying
like
to
that
figure
you
out.
said
I want to
right
know
and
how
wrong
I
much.
feel like all the time people who make the Bitmojis, theirs like looks cooler than them, and you're like, that's not quite you.
Well, I
And I-
suppose. Bitmoji
Oh my
is
gosh,
bit of
I have a
litmus
Bitmoji.
test
you
for, like,
Ben has some. Oh no.
Oh no!
it's a test for how someone
think.
sees themselves,
Yeah.
right? And how which can go a lot of different ways, right?
Hold on
Yes.
here.
Are you gonna share yours?
Share
How do
Chrome
we-
tab.
Can you put them in the
In
StreamYard?
the chat?
Oh yeah, I remember
no.
that.
Oh,
Change
See, that's-
outfit. Hold on.
You
Look,
even
there I
have-
am.
That's Ben. I mean, that's Ben. though.
oh my God! Do you own that sweater though?
I think I do.
I
Yeah.
think you do. You have.
What if
those
I was like
shoes
this,
for
though?
sure.
How do you have one? No, that's not you. See,
Bad
this is
boy.
what I'm talking about. It would be you sharing this, you in a leather jacket, and we go, Ben, you don't know.
Look
no
at all
leather
these
jacket."
Well, and
branded
look at this now.
clothes.
It's all advertised.
Oh,
Crocs.
it's just
Shit.
Levi's, Crocs.
This sucks.
No, American
Yeah.
Eagle. Are you
So
kidding
I don't like
me?
this.
I hate this. This
Look
is a
at.
curse.
I could wear this like Nickelodeon stuff.
I like that
No.
SpongeBob background.
Doesn't that look like me though? I need a mustache. I made this too long ago.
That's
You gotta
true.
give
How do
yourself
I-
some-
Eyebrows. Good hair. It's third from the left.
Yeah. It's got a little goatee going on.
Oh man.
Oh,
no.
man.
No, not that. All right, this is not selling well
Just
on audio.
a mustache
We need to
is
stop
like
this.
pedophile level
Yeah.
right now.
No, dude. Like you've almost got a full beard here.
There.
Hold on. Let's get out of here.
Almost.
This is
You
falling
didn't
apart.
save your
That's it.
changes.
Because I want to save the sweater because I actually have that sweater, I think.
You actually own that sweater.
I
And then
have that
here we'll
Bitmoji
save it. There,
sweater.
now it looks just like me. All right,
Okay,
that's
Ben.
enough of this.
Then your last one is gift or a curse. Adults obsessed with their birthdays.
Ooh.
You know when they're like, "It's my birthday week."
My
or
birth month.
something. My
Oh, I
birthday
know.
month,
Yeah.
and you're like,
The weekend of George or the summer of George. Wasn't that a birthday episode on Seinfeld?
I think it was because he like got fired, so he was gonna have
It
the
was
Right.
the
summer, of George.
But I think his birthday's in summer as well, and there was an episode dedicated to Summer of George.
I'm torn about this. I
because you want a
immediately
birthday.
say curse because somebody making a big hubbub about their birthday,
Their own birthday, yeah.
birthday,
their own birthday.
is very off-putting. But I
But
do
you
like
would
as
like to.
adults people who plan a birthday event that they throw for their own birthday and they invite all their friends. Instead of like getting a birthday party thrown for you, I like people who are like, hey, it's my birthday. I'm going to throw a big party. Or hey, it's my birthday. Let's go to, you guys want to go do this weekend trip here. We're going to go do it because it's my 40th birthday or whatever.
Okay.
I like that. That's cool. But I don't think that was the spirit of the question. And so I'm going to say adults obsessed with their birthdays is a curse. But adult birthday parties
but I mean,
is
your
a gift.
point is you're it's so hard to convey, hey,
I know.
I want to let's just do something that happens to land on my birthday.
Here's what I like. Some people, the nice thing about when you get to adults and people are having to make decisions about their own birthday parties is that people who like birthday parties get to have one because they make it happen, and people who don't like birthday parties get to not have one because they just they don't
I just
do it.
Pretend my birthday doesn't exist.
Right? You don't like to have a birthday party, so you don't have one. I like to do something on my birthday, so I always have a game day.
Well, it's a curse, Ben. You're a curse.
Damn it.
Cursed.
No, I don't mind what you said with the like, hey, it's my birthday, but overall I might go, shut up. If we know it's your birthday, I'll help you plan something, but I don't need you to tell me it's your birthday, so we're coming over. I don't know.
Hold on, I gotta work on
my birthday.
I think the caveat to Ben's thing is there can't be any like
they're not doing it in a douchey way though.
Well, yeah, you can't. Okay, now time for my birthday dinner, or we're going. You can't be the shot caller, sort of.
Yeah.
Which is ironic because you asked them all to come out here and hang out with you, so you got to toe that line pretty carefully.
I've never gone back and forth on gift or a curse with this one.
You're
Having
torn.
You're
supposed to be.
Soon. Are you gonna have a party?
No,
of course not. Throw yourself a party?
No, it would be LAN again, right? That was basically my birthday party, I think.
You could use it, though, to force friends to hang out with you. Hey, it's my birthday. Who wants to have a video game night?
I guess I better start texting.
Curse. I'm going to go
it's a curse.
I'm sorry, it's a curse.
I'll take a pleasant surprise from my wife anytime in terms of party, which she's actually really good. She's she likes birthdays forgiving, right?
Yeah.
Which I'm bad about, but no, it's a curse.
I'm going to say curse, yeah.
Yep.
So don't expect me to enjoy your birthday, Ben.
Nice.
Oh, no,
now
your background is your Bitmoji.
My Bitmoji is yes. For anybody
chat.
On audio only, my video now in the stream is my Bitmoji over my shoulder.
How do you do one of those like
Bitmoji fashion?
Does StreamYard have one of those things where it like turns you into an avatar?
I don't think so.
Wish.
Why not?
I don't think it's got that sort of processing power behind the scenes.
Man.
Look at us. I should go get my sweater that looks like that.
You have that sweater for sure.
You have that exact sweater.
Yeah.
I know I do.
You have to take
let
me take a picture of this and then we'll find it and take a picture.
It's got no elbows. It's absolutely frayed.
Everything is destroyed.
I think we need to start like a GoFundMe for Ben's clothes because it is out of control at this point.
Is that it? Are we done?
That's it.
Oh my gosh. What a wonderful episode.
I do really quick have I gotta promote us, I guess.
Ooh.
So just so everyone knows, the D List is the first Thursday of every month. We are live at 9 p.m. And our next movie...
Hold on. Are we sticking with Thursdays or things just switching to Wednesdays?
Sorry, it is Wednesday. You're right. Thank you.
And our Wednesdays now.
We're Wednesdays. Our next movie is The Wolfman, if anyone wants to join along.
I'm excited for this.
Yep.
And then the second Wednesday of every month is Session 0 from 8 till about 10-ish p.m. It's an RPG podcast tailored to the beginner DM by two beginner DMs, which is Ben and Ryan James from the Gamecasters. They usually have a guest, they chit-chat, all that stuff. You can find that on the Date Night Thrice feed and on our YouTube under the live section. And then you already talked about the Patreon, if you guys want to help out with that for any hosting fees, D-list, all that stuff. But yeah, that's the info.
Thanks, Sam.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that brings this episode to a close. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And like Emily said, if you are tuning to this on audio and you would like a video version, you can go check out our YouTube channel where we do every podcast is posted up there. And if you'd like to catch the D-Lists or Session 0, you can go to the live feed. Or if you want to catch us live, come tune into our Twitch. Just search Date Night Dice on Twitch and you'll find us. We are streaming the first and second Wednesdays of every month. So come hang out, ask questions. We'll be happy to see you. And with that, we'll see you later.
Have a good night.